happening, weirdos? So excited you guys are here to enjoy my chat with Jonathan Kite. Jonathan Kite, you may know him as Oleg on Two Broke Girls, but I know him as one of the funniest impressionists I've ever met in my life. So we do a ton of impressions. I should mention that we recorded this several months ago. So much has changed in the world, as you know, in the past month. You should know this is a slightly older one. It's a couple months old. So anything, I don't know, anything weird, just keep in mind. Keep in mind, we didn't know what we know now, as we're probably going to do, I'm sure, Trump impressions come up. I'm sure maybe even a Biden impression. I don't know. But keep in mind, it was all in good fun, and we're just horsing about. Not even horsing around, horsing about. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. If you do, you're about to crap your pants. I really love this guy, and I love hanging out with him, and I'm so glad you guys are here. Follow Jonathan Kite on Instagram. Also, check him out on tour. All of that would be on his Instagram. If you want to see me on tour, PeteHolmes.com. I'm going to be in Madison. I'm so excited to be coming back to Comedy on State. Pittsburgh at the Improv. Helium in Buffalo. Just added that. Buffalo, New York. Milwaukee and Denver for the Comedy Works. All of those are amazing places to perform. I'm so excited. All the tickets are available on PeteHolmes.com. Madison, Pittsburgh, Buffalo. You got it. You got it the first time. Milwaukee, Denver. You got it. All right. I'm so glad you're here. Enjoy the wonderful chat with Jonathan Kite. Get into it. There we go. That's going to be right there.
Wow. I was a real draw for that one.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Crazy.
Who's that?
Barack Obama. Let me be clear.
People, I can't do it.
People
Of Chicago.
People in Chicago, we have hope. We have dreams. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream.
Oh, when he goes deep and creepy.
I have a dream. I've been doing Trump. I have a dream. I have a dream. Pablo Francisco and I are trying to do a two-hander on stage, and we always end with like audience suggestions. And if I get Trump, I do Trump as Martin Luther King Jr. And I go, I have a dream. And that dream is to get pissed on by a lot of Russian hookers.
You're the first guest that's done Trump before I did. I spend the entire episode, since I've dialed it in a little bit more.
Yeah.
I spend, Katie will tell you, every single episode resisting the urge to do it.
Yeah.
And then when I do it, we have so much fun.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
why didn't I do it? You should just do it.
Do it all the time.
And then have you noticed this? When you do a Trump, or maybe you have a story about another impression you do.
Yeah.
You start talking like them, like in my regular voice, but I'll start using, like I'll be having breakfast and I'll be like, beautiful eggs. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
He's made it to my breakfast table.
Snap, crackle, sometimes pop.
I remember when Aunt Jemima was white. Before the liberal, the woke cucks got in here and they made syrup. I said, make America great again and make syrup white again, okay?
That's actually funny. Syrup is a very white, you know what I mean? Goes on pancakes, the blandest, whitest.
Yep.
It's like tapped from trees. I feel like I don't know the history of maple syrup.
Pretty white.
Pretty white. Guys in flannel, big hairy red beards.
Not black. Not black lumberjacks. Not black. I've never seen a black man. Not black. Well, I'm trying to work on the different Trumps. I'm waiting.
Not black. Really.
Not black.
It confused me at first.
Not
I was
black.
like, oh, he's specifically saying lumberjacks, not black. Not black.
He's missing a word.
They're not.
Not black. There. He doesn't use.
There.
I don't use any
Not
pronouns. I refuse to use pronouns.
They use pronouns now, so I just don't do them.
Don't like pronouns.
Don't do them.
Don't do. He won't even say them.
You won't even say.
Not they, them. Ugh. I won't say non-binary he. No.
I don't do it.
So great.
What were you gonna say? You were
that I work on. It's funny because how he's doing, like, you know, we talk about impressions all the time and like, what do people know them currently? So right now, because he's trying to show how not crazy he is. So he's talking so much about Sleepy Joe. He's doing he's getting very here because
is he?
Because I think when he comes off insane when he's at this joke never worked. So why don't I burn it here?
Yeah, burn it here.
Trump. My impression of Trump was always a guy who didn't understand how a microphone worked.
Yeah,
because Obama would get on stage and he would be as charismatic as he was on stage as he was right here. And then you see Trump go, he goes, I pissed on this woman. I pissed on her. And then he gets on stage and goes, I pissed on a woman. And you're like, it's amplifying you, bro. He's like, it's if he was right to go on. Somebody in his ear goes, the microphone went out. You got to yell.
But you know, a lot of, I'm not trying, no shots fired here. Who cares? I'm just saying, like Stalin, all those dictator guys, they did the same thing.
Yes.
There was always a guy in the front row of those rallies that was like, the mic's on.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. but
not him.
That's double loud.
It's
amplifying
loud.
a loud voice. It's, you know, I'm not going to say it's true, but it is double loud. It's a double thing.
And he's already,
I'm
right. He's shouting.
Speaking to the back.
I'm saying to the back of the room, I'm very good on Broadway. I'm the Ethel Merman of the Republican Party, okay? Excuse me, Elephant the Musical.
Excuse me. Something that my dad does that reminds me of how Trump talks.
Yeah.
Is my dad, I've said this a million, but I want to see what it makes you think of. Is my dad will go like, there's coconut water, okay? And there's something, excuse me. There are these check-ins that are power moves, is what I'm saying.
100%.
Excuse me. Stopping. This is coconut water, okay?
Or believe me.
Yeah. Just, they're little, I don't want to say they're microaggressions, but they're little advances.
They are.
If I was talking, I just kind of did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like every exchange to a certain kind of person, I'm actually not saying this about my dad, is a little battle. And you want to be like, excuse me. Actually, I wasn't done.
But excuse me, he cuts into your point.
Yeah.
The thing is, he likes to take what you're saying and move it a little bit. Ooh. Because he's sort of like him going like, excuse me, that's that. Like, let me step in here to correct.
Yeah.
And so he has these little, I mean, I don't think he gets credit. I think people sort of like, a lot of times there's like a sweeping generalization of just like this loud pumpkin.
Yeah.
But it's like. Loud pumpkin.
That's my Netflix password. Go on there, add Much Love Dogs to my queue.
I thought you were going to say that's his Netflix special.
That's my Netflix special.
Loud pumpkin.
What's crazy is, see, what I'm trying to, I do think people love Trump. Even the people that hate Trump
absolutely
love Trump. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even if he put out Loud Pumpkin.
I have a joke about him doing a Netflix special right now.
No shit. By the way, anybody listening that just cringed at that, I understand there's the policy, there's women's rights, there's body rights, there's environmental stuff, there's real stuff. And I'm saying on just an entertainment level.
100%.
And the people that hate him, look, I'll put it this way. I think we unconsciously love hating everything we hate, not just a politician. Everything we hate, we kind of, like, you know how like you're like unconsciously attracting a bad relationship or a small fender bender or something. Like there's a part of you that's like, my life is boring. Wouldn't it be better if I was filling out insurance forms and taking pictures of a dent? You know what I mean? Like stuff you don't want. There's something in you that goes like, please let him win. I just want to yell about him. You go in for coffee and you're just like, he's fucking at it again.
Dude,
and you're so alive.
Happy. And
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're happy. Okay, I think I've been clear. I've cleared my throat enough on this point. I'm just saying I have a lot of extreme left liberal friends that are like giddy in the eyes as they're like,
well, they bring it up.
Did you see what he did? I'm like, you fucking love, I'm with you. It's fucking horrible. But why? It's almost like a kink. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And it's almost like we love big personalities in this country no matter what.
That's right.
And so we're attracted.
And we made him.
I was going to say, he's one of us.
He's us.
He's not like a guy.
He can't, like
he's not a Godzilla.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's not a Godzilla. He's not the Cloverfield that came out of the ocean. We were like broken bits of metal. And then the T-1000 came in and was like, hello,
I'm going to get Schwarzenegger. I'm going to get... And when I say Schwarzenegger, I don't pronounce the hard R.
He won't say it.
He won't say the hard R.
Our love of a fire
Oh,
our love of a fire.
think about all the villains. Like we love to like an anti-hero, like Tony Soprano or
Yeah.
or Walter White.
Walter White, yeah.
There is like something
Walter White,
about
great guy, great meth.
great meth. So I'm on it right now.
Sorry, it's
Bucket of chicken, yum yum yum. That's like him as an anime character.
bucket of chicken, yum yum.
Yum yum. Welcome back to Trump Bucket of Chicken. This is his cooking
Airplane,
show.
space pen. I just have to read the prompter. They give me $100 million.
Don't you know when he knows
Bowl cut.
when he goes off the prompter? You know it. He goes, "We're gonna do excuse me, we're gonna do things so great." And it's like there's not a prompter over there.
No, you know.
He stays on for like two. His
off-roading.
speechwriter
He's off-roading.
is getting paid to do nothing
Yeah.
because he ain't reading none of those speeches.
Which again is something that you were saying a big personality,
Yeah.
or like a blind confidence.
We love it's
We
a
love
cowboy.
it. It's a cowboy. It's Tony Stark.
It's awesome.
It's Tony Stark going like, "This is my address. Come and wait, you can do it."
Yeah, he goes, yes, you want to come and get me? Or he goes, so the best weapon is one that you never have to fire. I say it's one you never have to fire. You only have to fire once.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's
and we're
his-
jizzing
yeah.
in our jeans. And Elon Musk is another complicated kind of folk hero.
Yes.
But you see, I saw a Cybertruck today, and I was like, "What the fuck is like?"
It looks Mad Max.
I saw a rock. It looks Mad Max. Looks like the video game Spectre from the early '90s. It was like a
Or it looks like
3D
Roblox. You know,
Yeah, it looks like polygons.
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
like PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
It looks like Star Fox. We've done it.
Absolutely. I was going to
Your
say
car
even
looks like
further
Star
back.
Fox.
Yeah, like Commodore, or even like Commodore 64.
It's a Commodore 64. It's so lo-fi that it's hi-fi.
Yeah.
But you see it, and I was walking to the store. I parked. Sometimes I get to the store too early, so I just walk up and down Sunset, and I always get a story out of it.
Oh, a screaming man.
Just a screaming man. Last one, I think I already told this.
Excuse me?
Excuse me. There was a woman, and I was just walking on the sidewalk, and she was walking towards me, and then went, "Excuse you." She said, "Excuse you," and it bothered me for a week because I was like, you were looking. This is kind of what we're talking about.
looking to
you were
bump into
looking
you.
for a problem.
100%.
You wanted to be mad at me.
Yep.
So you veered towards me. There was plenty of room. This is what I'm saying. We need young more than ever because we are jizzing in our jeans. We have pornography. What do you want to see? You can see it. You'll jizz. You'll this. You can. There's apps. You want this? You want a third?
People
you want
get
a
on to
treble?
see the problem so they have something to complain about.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like, why wouldn't it be the same? Orgasms or sexual novelty is all covered by the internet.
Yeah.
And so is your different flavors of rage and whatever. You want to get off on self-righteousness, even if it's valid. I'm not saying it's not valid.
No,
I'm
of
just
course.
saying, like, what do you need to feel alive today? What do you need to kind of forget that we're in outer space, that we all die, that everyone you know is going to die? It's so much better to go, "Did you see Orange Pumpkin? What did he say?"
The little thing, right?
The little thing?
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
And I was like, I remember somebody called me when he won the first time, and I just remember they were in tears, and they were saying like, "What's going to happen?"
Yeah.
As if a meteor was coming to the thing.
I have the same story.
Yeah, and I remember saying like, by the way, I didn't know anything, and I still don't, but I was just like, I think it's going to be okay. That was just my personal reaction.
We've grown. I remember I was thinking about this on the way in. Now I see like a Trump hat or something,
Yeah.
and I go, "It's just me over there. It's just me from a different life, different value, whatever, different experience.
Yeah.
I'd be that guy." And I'd be that guy. When he won the first time, I would drive around and I'd see. I remember vividly. I've told this a million, but I had a show in Ohio the day after he won. So I'm in like, I believe that went red. Did Ohio go red? It doesn't matter. It was the Midwest enough for me to be like, it's probably a Trump place.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all that matters.
But as so goes the Ohio, mostly so goes the country, right? So
It must have been.
I feel like that's the state that
Katie?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. See, this is great. But I would drive and I'd see like a sticker that said "Women for Trump" or something. Katie's back.
Shit, I don't.
Just give it a goog. You're sitting in front of your computer book, Penny. Inspector Gadget. reference.
I'll get you. That's what Trump said. I'll get you next time, Biden. Next time.
He has that spiky.
Yet, and that
bracelet.
little cat, and that cat was Mike Pence.
Who is his vice president? Does he?
He doesn't. He doesn't,
He doesn't
have
have
one.
one.
Oh, they went Trump.
Yeah, they went Trump. So I went and I
Oh yeah,
would
because
see.
Chappelle had that story where he said that he went out and he saw. He was voting in Ohio, and he said he had all these trucks lined up, and he goes, "I knew Trump was going to win."
Oh, wow.
And he voted in Ohio.
Oh, wow. So that's my point is when I used to see a Trump sticker, I'd literally get like a
visceral reaction.
heavens.
Yeah. You clutch your pearls.
I did.
Yeah.
I was like a Victorian ninny.
Yeah.
And it actually is progress. Look, you can take all of the politics out of this. We all got a crash course from the quarantine and from Trump and just from life. Every day, we're getting a little bit, hopefully better at going like things are happening that aren't my things,
Right.
that aren't what I would have chosen.
Right.
And I'm like I was saying, we were just in Florida, guy with a Trump hat was playing with Leela. They were having a great time in the pool. And I was like, this is progress for me.
Of course.
Because I wasn't like, stay away from
Right.
it, which is kind of, there was a time when we were all that way. I was going to Ohio and I was like, it's like, do I need a passport?
You know what it is? It's the sneeches.
It's the star-bellied
Sneeches where you're like, even though we're the same, you have a Trump sneech.
Yeah.
You have Make America Sneech Again. And it's like, you know what I mean? And then you were like, and
Make
then you
America Sneech
Make
Again.
America Sneech
Get a
Again.
star.
You know who told me that?
Star-belly.
A very good friend of Lorax. And that's where I get my hair of those Lorax trees because he speaks for the trees. Okay. Green eggs and ham. Even my Jews eat them. Okay. But my Jews for Trump. Okay.
Can you hear me, Horton?
Who said that? Horton. Here's a what? It's a who's on first with Trump. It's Trump and Horton.
Horton, here's a who. What? Have you heard about Horton the journalist? He heard a who, what, where, when, why.
He heard
How?
Horton hears a who on. Okay, and that's COVID Horton. Okay, he's a Chinese elephant. Okay, but it's true. It's like I think that we realize that, and that's what I really love about. I just was in Oklahoma this weekend, and it's nice to get out in the country and just to meet other people because I'm doing Trump, Biden, and RFK, and I'm coming at it from a thing of I don't want people to know how I voted. That's like very important to me because I think that sometimes, and I get caught up in this, of being like not on a soapbox, but like having an opinion. But the truth is I try to strip away my opinions and just go, what's funny?
Yeah.
And obviously, they will be my opinions because I'm saying them and thinking of them.
Right.
I'm not coming up with fake opinions like, isn't it weird about how all raccoons do this? It's like, just to be a contrarian, I'm coming up with stuff that I think is funny, and then it shouldn't matter how I voted.
I feel the same way about spiritual principles. I don't write any jokes about spirituality. Well, I do some, but like most of the time, 99% of the time, but it's in there. Like your beliefs are underneath your jokes.
Of course.
And that's actually why I can watch, I'm so special, but I can watch a comedian do a completely clean routine and be a little repulsed because I'm like, I know what you're really saying in that bit. And I can watch a filthy person and I'm like, this one's clean actually. This one's fine.
Yeah.
There's no hate. There's no othering. There's no...
It's tough. I'm trying to do jokes about being Jewish, and then I went to the Middle East right before October, and I wrote a bunch of stuff that was doing very well, and then the moment October 7th happened, it's like people freeze. And even when I just say, hi, I'm Jewish, and then I start talking about it, you can just tell that they're like, I can feel them pulling back. And so it's like I've had to change the way I open because that's such a hard thing to go out there. And I don't even say like, I'm not even like, hi, my name is Israel. And, but you just say like, hi, just because I'm trying to come up with, because what I do is I just like being entertaining. Yeah. And so I don't really talk about my family.
Right.
I don't talk about like me or what I do. I'm just sort of like, I love like Robin Williams or like Pablo Francisco or like just people who are silly, who are having fun and like telling jokes and voices and stuff. Jim Carrey. Right. And I really love that for me.
Yeah.
Not that, I love personal comedians too, but it's like that's just not.
What did you end up doing? Did you just cut the...
Yeah, so I
get a lot of mileage out of relax, by the way. Like I have jokes that go, I believe in God, relax.
By the way, I had to write a joke. I had to write a joke about, hey guys, can we just agree? And it's going to have to get better because right now it's a little pandering, but it's like I'm writing a joke about how, hey guys, what are we doing here tonight? Oh, I came to tell jokes and you came to hear jokes. So if you get offended by something, hey, trust me, I'm a comedian. These are just jokes. Yeah. And then that becomes a thing because I'm working on this whole bit about how weird being a stand-up is. Because I started as an actor and then I've been doing stand-up for like 10 years or whatever, but you have to learn all this stuff that I don't think the public, even though we're like drowning in crowd work clips. I don't think people really understand.
Don't get me started on.
Oh yeah,
clips.
I've been doing
Strong opinions.
What do you do for a living? Mike, I only do crowd work in a podcast. But I don't. I mean, I feel like I was doing it, and I got really good advice from Whitney when I first started.
Yeah,
and she was like, "Don't do crowd work." She's like, "Work on your writing." And so, like, that was really helpful for me, you know, and just in the very beginning, because I was only doing
was
crowd
her
work.
advice?
What's up?
That's not very sage advice. I love Whitney, but that's like at the Comedy Store. Park in the back. That's very basic.
She
try to write good jokes.
Well, that was she had maybe seen me do only crowd work.
I see.
And so I
thought
was
she was
like,
like, put the mic stand behind you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
She's like,
wow.
hold the mic.
I misunderstood.
Yeah,
Keep
she's
going.
like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have a Justin Timberlake mic.
Nobody wants that.
Like unless you work at Old Navy. And I was like,
Remember?
well, I might be. And but I guess maybe she had seen it, and maybe I was only doing crowd work because I was like, it's fun, it's easy, and I'm enjoying it, and they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, and this was at the very, very beginning, and I was just like, I probably need to, so I sort of abandoned.
Well, isn't it funny? You bring up an interesting point is that there's what works and what the crowd wants.
Of course.
And there's actually what I think stand-up is supposed to be, and I'd like to unpack this with you, is like, maybe it's just a general thing about all creation, is you can't just give them what they want. They actually don't just want what they want. There has to be some tension of like, I know, like for me, for example, I could get some mileage out of going out and being Batman, right?
Right,
And I don't do that.
Yeah.
And I think nobody even expects me to do that, even though that would probably work.
Oleg. Same thing from Two Broke.
And Andy Kaufman would, if he went, thank you very much, you know, at a certain point.
Right.
So there's something built into all performance, it seems. Radiohead won't play Creep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
I do.
we know that at a certain point, it's expected that there's a tension and there's supposed to be a push-pull that the artist is going, there are things I could do that would be what would make this work, like
Right.
pragmatic. But then there's also what I have written on my heart to say, and there's what you want, and in between the show will meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also I think that there's something that if you knew exactly what I was going to do, you wouldn't come see me.
Facts. Somebody gave my new hour the highest compliment. It was my friend Reed. He was like, your act is like taking mushrooms. And I was like, I'm blown away because, and I was thinking about my act recently, there's like weird parent stuff. Then there's weird like death stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, maybe, and I could be flattering myself, but maybe we're all kind of learning these lessons from our dreams, if not from psychedelics, meaning there's this unconscious mind that loves entertaining us too when we're sleeping, or maybe if you take a substance, but like it's always surprising. It's not just...
Well, that's what I like.
There's always a gnome that's
But your stuff though is different because remember when I was with the Comedy Store with you and you were working on that exorcism bit? Because you saw the billboard.
Oh, yeah.
But I will
and
tell
that was
you,
somebody's daughter.
yeah. Well, that's what I always think. I always think about the kid from Nightmare on Elm Street, who's the little boy in like the fourth or fifth one, where you're like, that guy had to grow up and be a person.
Yeah.
And he also hung out with Robert Englund, who was like, I'm going to go fuck someone in a dream right now.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, man, stay away from my kid, even though he's in the scene. So, but that's what I have always admired about your comedy is that I think that you really feel like stream of consciousness.
I appreciate.
And I will tell you,
He's up there.
stream of consciousness. Oh, I'm peeing right now. That's what I call my dick. Consciousness, and I'm streaming right now.
Golden shower, golden globes.
And I'm back. Golden shower. Everything goes back to Trump. It was Trump the whole time. But I really appreciate that because I think that that's my hardest thing where I could do the crowd work just fine, but I really like in a weird way, and it's something that I'm struggling with in my stand-up.
I'm still laughing. It was me the whole time.
whole time.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You looked at me and it made me remember how funny you were a minute ago. That was so funny. You're so funny.
Thank you. I mean,
It was me the whole
It was me the whole time.
So your crowd work, I'm so sorry.
No. By the way, I wish I could get this response from the crowd. And
You're just one of those guys. I can't look at you. You've always made me laugh so hard. And I can't look at you and take you seriously. And I'm having a really hard time interviewing you.
I brought a Trump mask.
Now I can
Yeah,
talk.
it's my version of Point Break.
Yes.
The new Point Break. How did they not have a Trump mask in the new Point Break?
Wow.
That didn't make any sense to me.
Right? Too political.
Too political. Wait, they all have Trump? Wait, you're Trump? I thought I was Trump. Okay. Excuse me.
I'll be on that big wave. That's how I die.
Make Point Break again. Okay. Oh, just the red hats. They all have red hats.
So you did crowd work.
So
I'm going to do my best.
I can't get back to, because I like bits. Like the first joke I ever wrote was Ray Romano having a nightmare. First joke I ever wrote, right? And it was just me going, no, mom. And then I would just go on, right?
That's great.
Thank you. But it's like, it's one of those
great.
things. It's
No.
that's him passing a kidney stone.
Oh, God.
Come on.
God.
Mom.
God. Are you there? God, it's me, Raymond.
Oh, the medication's not working.
It doesn't work.
Oh.
There's a smell.
Oh,
There's
God.
a smell.
Open the window.
Oh, there's a smell.
Oh. Is that you and me?
There's a smell is from the documentary he did, which is actually underrated. Not too many people have seen it. It's very funny about being on the road. And they're driving in like Florida.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah, and he gets it's him and his friend Tom. They do the shows together, and he gets like he's upset that the sun is coming through the window, so he buys at a truck stop like a screen.
Yeah.
And he puts it on the inside. He's like, should I put it on the inside or the outside? No, but so they can get going, he puts it on the inside.
Yeah.
And then he's like, so he's upset about the sun. He's like, oh, the sun, no. And then he puts it up and he goes, there's a smell. Like a chemical smell.
Of course. It's
from
so
the
cheap.
tent.
Yeah, it's so cheap. It's just releasing gases into the car.
So
yeah.
you went and heated up sun gases,
Yeah.
and you're just like, he's right. I love the neuroses, and I can laugh at him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's me. I'd be like, I'm not happy that the sun's coming in, and now I'm being slowly
It's got one
fumed.
function.
Yeah.
And it's deteriorating under its own function.
That's right.
This wasn't like meant for something else that he misappropriated.
No.
Oh, this was supposed to be a hat.
Or like, you know what I mean? It's like, what?
It was supposed to be a hat,
Oh, this was a burqa.
but I put it on the window.
I put it on as a sunblock.
And now there's a smell.
Oh, with a
There's
nose
like his.
I smell it from far away.
Oh, no.
Jews with better food.
That's his great line.
Jews with better food.
I'm Italian.
Yeah, Italian Jews
with better food.
Yeah, the Jews aren't really known. Well, Russ and Daughters.
I love Russ and Daughters.
Gatsby. That's
So
the
good.
best one. So good.
I love it.
It's so good.
I would go out of my way when I would visit.
Me too.
Oh, my Lord.
I still will just get a couple pounds of the Gatsby smoked salmon and just eat it like a goddamn animal.
I
Like not on
thought
a
you were going to say
bagel.
like a golem.
Like
just
a-
like, just like,
Is that appropriate?
just like,
I feel like Gollum, because Gollum is very close to Golem.
Golem, yeah.
Which is a Yiddish ghoul.
yeah, but it,
And
but
then
it's also,
Tolkien was like, and there's like
Yeah.
a Gollem.
well,
and
I love
everyone's
how
like,
everybody's Christianity, right? Isn't Lord of the Rings, or is that just,
oh, is that what it is?
I thought so with, maybe I'm wrong. I can never answer.
they're trying to like keep the ring of Jesus or something?
or something. The
Remember
purity
show
ring
Step by Step?
with Cody from Kickboxer, of course.
Do you remember this?
Of course.
That Step by Step
I love
was
Step by
a
Step.
thinly veiled. This is a theory. It was a thinly veiled Christian agenda TV show that it's two divorced people like Brady Bunch style getting
Yeah.
together, and they're all crazy. And Cody, the Christian, remember he's Christian,
Of course.
lives in the van in the back. He's the only sane one. And I remember at church hearing that theory, and I was like, "Oh, holy God!" Like I don't know what I did,
Hallelujah. That was the original theme song they wanted for it.
but yeah, instead of step
By step, day by day.
I let you
Yeah,
have it.
come
I let
on,
you have it. I wanted
dude.
to do it, but you're the guest.
No, bro. Let's do it. We'll go again.
The
Step
deeper
by
we
step.
go, the harder we stay.
By the way, what carnival were they at?
Make it better.
What carnival were they at?
Yeah, 7 Flags. What is that?
Yeah, come on. More like 5 flags.
More like 5 Flags.
Come on.
Come on.
Am I right?
Am I right? Oh, 5 Flags.
Oh, 5 flags.
Flag.
Oh,
Lift it up. Putt from the rough.
Oh, oh,
Relax it.
oh,
It's on the fairway. Unfair. Safe way.
Robin Williams in a porno. I'm almost there. Rub my lamp, Genie. Yes. So crowd work. But I can't, it's hard for me to make that like transition because I like doing bits. Like I'll do, this is my observation about this person, and I'll do like an impression and do a bit about it, but it's not conversational.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's really, I'm trying to meld those styles
Yeah.
right now. And it is hard because like when you're doing crowd work and it feels free flow, and the Trump stuff I have, and I have a bit that I'm working on about autism that's like really free flow. And then I love doing the impressions, but I struggle with getting those to come off free flow. So sometimes I would just go yell out an impression, and then the audience would do it.
And then it would feel more
and then I would just do it
natural.
And then it's sort of like, isn't that interesting about whoever? And then I would just go off on that person, and I could just do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But to
without
just
it feeling forced.
yes.
Well, impressions are a little bit like a harmonica. You know
of
what
course,
I mean? It's
yeah.
kind of like
I
even
almost
Bob
said
Dylan
David
was
Tell.
like, "Oh God, this is so embarrassing." Like you have to get over it.
I know.
and you just have to do it.
It's a prop where like
I wouldn't put it down by saying a prop.
No, but I was going to
But
say in a good
it
way.
is a prop.
It's a prop. I only meant because, but harmonica is a better example. But Bob Dylan is least as a musician. But it's one of these things where, like David Tell on Hot Cross Buns, he closes with the recorder.
Yeah.
But it's like a weird thing where it's like I'm doing political comedy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, here is a prop.
Yeah.
Here's a Ray Romano, and you're like, oh, this guy's a prop comic. So it's like to make those sort of cohesive and blend together, which I really like about you for the because even when we did Largo together, and you were doing, I don't remember if I heard you do Succession or you did something where you just were like, it was a thought in your head, and you just did it, and the audience was appreciating being there for you having that thought.
Which that's very in line with what I'm trying to do, which is to me. And I'll at least say this quickly because I think I've said it. I think I've said everything I have to say before on this show. But it's like, don't mistake the words or even the bit for what people want. They do want the joke, but it's an excuse. Cooking dinner with your friends is an excuse to stand shoulder to shoulder and subtitles on say "I love you"
For sure,
and we're together.
Yeah,
but like the dinner isn't it. And like the jokes aren't really it. And the impressions too, that's why I admire that you're trying to naturalize how to do it. Because I was just I did Florida this weekend, and I looked at my notes. And I was like, isn't stand-up weird? It's like, I'm talking to you guys, and I am. And I'm making that very clear. I interrupt myself and stay with them and all that stuff. But I'm like, I have jokes that I want to do. So it's like being on a date, and every once in a while I just touch the wire in my ear. I'm like,
yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They know there's an agenda and there's spontaneity, but it's okay. We can forgive that there's an agenda because the agenda is in service of.
But I think if you're good and doing it as long as you are, that you have there, I think that some people think that we're just making that stuff up because they see so much crowd work. That's why whenever you see like all the crowd work clips and then you get here and then you were like, wait a minute, if somebody's not an idiot, but they're just unaware, where they're like, oh, wait a minute, Pete's now talking about his family, but he didn't get that suggestion from the crowd.
Right.
How did he just come up with that? So it's and because there's so many examples of, and by the way, not that they all suck, but like most crowd work clips, it's sort of like, they could have filed it under, like, guys, add one more hashtag of who cares.
That'll also be the first thing ChatGPT just nails.
Oh, 100%.
Because there's a formula to it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple of deviations you can make from crowd work, but a lot of the times.
Oh, I used to do, because I do a bit about 23andMe. And because I actually did it, and so I would ask people, because I was trying to think of questions that I could get them, because either some people won't admit that they did 23andMe, or some people think that it's like crazy conspiracy theory stuff, or you're just spitting in a jar, which by the way makes sense, setting it to a government lab. And so I understand both sides of it, whether or not I subscribe to either. I'm like, oh, I can see where you're coming from. Same with like Biden, Trump, RFK, whatever. So I would ask them, has anybody done 23andMe? Did you find out anything interesting about yourself? And so I would try to spark conversations to spin off into that way, but instead of like, what do you do for a living, or who you here with tonight, just because I was trying to meld the bits.
I was just talking to Judd Apatow about this, where his crowd work question now is, who here's done ayahuasca? Did you see God? And he was like, you wouldn't, especially in California, you just get so many great, interesting areas. And that's a skill in itself, is knowing what to ask a crowd to get better stuff.
Well, and so I have bits, and I started off by doing, which I guess is kind of hack now, but I've been doing it. Probably my first crowd work ever was, I do a whole bit about being a stand-up, and like, like the weird things about being a stand-up and what everything entails. And I kind of go, it's a weird thing that we have to give our resume to you. Like when they introduce you, like, by the way, you know who Pete Holmes is. You're at the show. You know who he is. This isn't like a grab bag of like you're on vacation in Orlando and you thought you were going to see an NSYNC cover band,
right?
But yet here's one guy talking about the life and the universe. So I go, you know what I am, but if you didn't, they go, in case you don't know who he is, you've seen Crashing, you love him from the Batman videos, so you have to like emphatically yell the resume. I go, you don't have that at any other job.
Yeah.
And so, and I talk about like, and also we tell them what to say. Because we want to set the mood. I go, I could have said anything. And then I make up like crazy shit that I could have said about myself.
Yeah.
But I go, it's like trying to have sex with somebody for the first time. You got to put on the right playlist before you come on stage.
Yeah.
And I talk about like, guys, what do you put on right before you're ready to bone? And every guy in the audience knows. And you get like really
that's good.
fun. And I'm genuinely trying to start a conversation instead of creating Instagram clips.
Yeah, that's a different. I like. I mean, for what it's worth, you don't need my approval, but you have it.
All right. Thank you very much. Boom. Popping mics.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Neil
back.
Brennan did 3 mics, 4 mics.
4 mics for me. 3 is...
Let's. I want to talk about the Middle East and more of that, but let me read
Please.
you a random one. I have a list of your impressions.
Oh, okay.
Jay Baruchel?
I try to, I had to learn him. So this is, I don't know if you ever like this.
That just jumped out at me.
I had to learn. Yeah.
Sorry, no, go on, tell me.
Sometimes I have an impression that I will have in the back of my head that I know I can get with more time. And
I got you. This might be one of those.
And so the thing is, when I get asked to read, like the reason I learned Adam Driver, that I got asked to voice match Kylo Ren. Which is like a weird thing because
for what?
For
a video
Star
game?
Wars, yeah, but yes, for a video game. And the problem is that like James Earl Jones, he's done through a modulator. Obi-Wan. He has that sort of. So then I was like, when they had us do the voice match for it, it was so weird. There's only like one thing where he goes, "I had no idea we had the best pilot in the Resistance on board. Comfortable?" And that was like, I remember that. Comfortable. He goes, very comfortable. Well, he's. You know what he's doing is he's like a bad ventriloquist because he's making all the. Hi, yes, hi, hello. He's like making all the voices.
That hello was fucking.
Hello, hi, yes, hello. And I realized for a long.
I'm dead. Do
it
again, please.
Hi, yes, hello.
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Yes, I'm Italian. Yes, buongiorno. Yes, we have a red racing car.
Oh my God.
But I realized he didn't, and I love Adam Driver.
Me too.
And so, but listening to him, it's so funny because like I always say that in an interview, he was always told that there wouldn't be an interview, and yet somehow there is. Because like when you see him, no, you're so right. And he's just like, yes, okay. I thought I was just coming here with Pete today. I'm also being interviewed. Okay, fine. What are we going to talk about? Like there's something about him where they're like, don't worry.
You are so right.
Just go with Pete. There's
nothing's happening.
He needs somebody to hold something for him.
I can do that.
I can do that. And then he's like, oh, Pete had to go away, but they still got to fill the slot. What? Well, this is ridiculous. There's no one else here that can do this? All right, fine. Yes, hi, hello. Yes, I'm doing a Star Wars movie. And then it's always he's promoting the biggest shit in the world. So it's not like people are like, we don't care. Like
they care.
They care so much about what you're doing.
Yes.
And he goes, I'm in a film Star Wars. And everyone's like, ah! And he goes, oh, I didn't realize people have heard of this film before.
Yes.
And so and I think he'd much rather be anywhere else.
Yeah, I agree. Did you see the one where somebody he's promoting Ferrari and they just showed the movie. He comes out and they're like, I don't know how you say this, but I like the acting, but the what would you say? The chase sequence seemed a little over the top, a little fake. Did you see this?
No.
And he goes, fuck you.
That's what I heard the voice. I heard the soundbite.
Okay.
And then Chris,
fuck you.
Fuck you. I'm out of the car. I'm here, sir. I'm here.
Those aren't my feet on the inserts.
Yeah. Hello. Did you see that Stephen Colbert when he had on Louboutins and they had red bottoms on them for the dress shoe, and then he was all in black and the bottoms of the shoes were red, and then Stephen Colbert's like, look at the bottoms of your shoes, and he was like, oh yes, I guess they're red, and then he was like, oh, you didn't know that? And he goes, I'm just noticing that now. Like he wasn't even supposed to be dressed for that. And then like somebody, and then Stephen Colbert's like, you're all in black, and then you have red. That's very Kylo Ren. He goes, I guess it is. Like he just is like, he's just there.
Stumbling into show business.
Bro.
And that's also what makes him cool.
Amazing.
But it's also very funny that like after all these years of being a very big star
For a long time. Yeah.
he's still a guy. He's Travolta.
Well, I can't believe it. But that's sort of like,
geez.
he's like, wow, you guys saw the movie? That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest movie in the world. But there's some people, well, that's how Seth Rogen, when I first started watching, Seth Rogen had a thing of like, he won a contest to get on Conan.
Yeah.
Like he would just be like, whoa, amazing. You know, he'd be like, he would just sort of be looking around and being like, you are Conan, you know? And then he's like, Seth, I know, we're here on the talk show. And then Conan always plays along like, he's like, I've been doing the show for years. And then he'll be like, I know, but I've never, whoa, this is the couch from TV. You know, like because they're not media trained. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
You're Conan.
He's
I
like,
can't do it.
He's like,
I can do it.
but he's always like, wow, you're Conan. And then he like doesn't want to laugh because it's like what we talked about at the Largo. People like become like you die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. That's one of my favorite like quotes, and you know they've said it in everything, and Aaron Eckhart said it in The Dark Knight, and it's so true. And so it's like when we think about these guys, Seth Rogen, every person in the world was just like, do you do this? Crazy. And so I finally worked it into my bit.
Dueling Rogan.
I can't do it. I don't know. And he's getting, and you could tell he laughs, but not as much as he used to. Because if somebody's like telling you all the time that this is what you do, it's like what we said about Nicolas Cage on the red carpet.
Yes.
Say it again. Where he's like,
say it again.
Nicolas Cage, obviously everybody, you know, he's always so put out and sort of, but he's heard people do him now for so long. So he makes a real effort when he's on the carpet to just be like, yeah, I'm here. He won't become the caricature.
He won't do the Rogan laugh. I'm not going to do
I'm not.
what you think I'm going to do.
Oh, that's pretty good. He actually, he like talks, quicker than he would, but you know, you watch him in the old days, sort of just like a piece of butter melting on the pancakes.
Yes.
He just sort of, wow.
Which to me, maybe we talked about this, Nick Cage chose that. We all chose.
Yeah.
We all chose our voice. Oh. And it all evolved. And remember, we talked about in Moonstruck, he was like, the weirdest choices he's made.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's from, and he tells you what it's from.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take away from Nick Cage. I'm just saying
he's an art
nothing
project.
New under the sun.
Yeah, he's like a
collage.
He's a thesis.
He's a thesis.
And he's like, well, I did this for this, or he's trying to mimic these certain things that homages to things that he admires and things.
Weezer, Rivers Cuomo, like studies pop music and goes, this is how to write a perfect pop song based on like the math. It's like when AI is doing it, it's like AI, we've been doing it.
Nicolas Cage is AI.
AI. I'm an AI.
That's his next weird movie. You just realize that Nicolas Cage is just a man living in a computer, like a Charlie Kaufman, and he's just like, and then they open up a computer and they go, "Who are you?" I'm AI. Like dream sequence, how he's just in everybody's brains. But Nicolas Cage, you go, "Who are you?" Just call me Chat, GBT.
The whole time.
It's just him.
ChatGPT was Nick Cage.
He's on a typewriter.
I want to keep surprising you.
I have to be so fast.
I'm so fast.
Oh God, I'm so tired.
Oh.
It's like how God in Bruce Almighty like takes a break, and so he's like, I need a vacation. AI takes a vacation. It's Nicolas Cage.
That is the next. What was that movie where the stars disappear? Sorry, where it's only out here so I can read your impressions. The stars disappear. One day in the near future, AI you'll type it in and it'll be like, I'm not here right now. And there'll be like a 6-day
It just
period.
says Gone Fishing.
Gone Fishing.
That's the name of the Nicolas Cage movie. Gone Fishing.
Oh,
it's like
sorry.
Death Takes a Holiday.
Death Takes a Holiday.
And which was Meet Joe Black. Death Takes a Holiday was the original, and when Brad Pitt was Death, and he like took
really?
Yeah, it's such a good movie with Anthony Hopkins. Meet Joe Black.
Meet Joe Black is a good movie?
I like
This is
very
me
much.
meeting. Oh no, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I like it very
don't
much.
you dare feel unsafe in your taste here.
Then I love it.
This episode is brought to us by our friends at Element, LMNT, especially now that it is so hot here in California. In the summertime, I'm sure it's hot where you are as well. It's all about hydration, and healthy hydration isn't just water. We should know this. It's 2024. Wake up. It's not just water. It's water plus electrolytes. If you're a kid like me who grew up in the 90s, that meant flat soda, flat red soda with tons and tons of sugar. Element is the perfect ratio of sodium, potassium, and magnesium for healthy hydration with no sugar. No sugar, no junk, but it's delicious. It's sweetened with stevia, which is a natural, obviously a plant-based sweetener with it's got like 5 calories in a pouch, which is incredible for fasting. Helps me not power through. That's the phrase I'm looking for. I was going to say struggle through. Help me power through my fasts, and it is absolutely delish. As I mentioned, watermelon salt is my favorite flavor. I also like their mango chili, which is a spicy hydrating drink. I didn't know I wanted that, but I did. And I love their chocolate salt flavors. I actually drink it hot at night, which is incredible. So many people, I think it's like 70% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. You need it. It's in there. It's also helping that water get into your brain. Wonderful for clarity, for focus, to prevent cramping, to prevent fatigue. It's like I say, this isn't in the copy, it's like another way to energize. Getting that right amount of salt, that sodium, that potassium, and that magnesium. Wonderful midday pick-me-up, wonderful way to jumpstart your day. And also try their new Element Sparkling. They have this black cherry flavor, which is unbelievable, and I love it in the 16-ounce can. Sparkling electrolyte water. Just go to drinklmnt.com. That's LMNT is Element. drinklmnt.com/weird and use promo code weird to get a free Element sample pack with any order. When you order, that means you can try every single flavor when you order it. I love it. And if Element doesn't exceed your expectations, they have a no questions asked refund policy. You don't even have to send it back. So go to drinklmnt.com/weird and use promo code weird. Get healthy hydration, support your body, and support the show. We're also brought to us by one of our newest Pete's Picks, Hostage Tape. You guys have heard me singing the praises of Hostage Tape. Why? Who knew? A simple thing like mouth tape could improve the quality of my sleep exponentially. It is amazing. What it is 20% more oxygen. We're talking about reducing the risk of sleep apnea. We're talking about reducing snoring. It helps with snoring, and it also helps with oral hygiene and bad breath. All of those things are tackled with a simple piece of tape over your mouth. Hostage tape. I was worried the first time I tried it, it would make me feel claustrophobic and trapped. The opposite is true. As I always say in these, you close the tunnel, you breathe through the bridge. It just makes it not an option. Your brain gets it right away. Oh, the mouth is closed. I'm going to breathe through my nose and get 20% more oxygen to my brain. Immediately, I'm noticing that I'm getting deeper sleep, having more dreams, feeling better in the morning, more energized. It has incredibly improved my quality of my sleep. So I tried Hostage Tape once, and I am hooked for life. I don't even nap without it. It's incredible, and it comes off easy in the morning, which I really appreciate. Find out. They are the official sleep and breathing aid of the UFC for a reason. They're the real deal, and they have a special offer only available through this podcast. A 6-month supply for $99. That means you save $50 when you go to hostagetape.com/weird. This is the only place Hostage Tape sells a 6-month bundle, and trust me, you're going to want it. $99, 6 months, save $50. Go to hostagetape.com/weird. Support your sleep, support your body, support this show. Sleep better tonight. hostagetape.com/weird. Can you do Brad Pitt?
So I've tried.
Taron Killam does a
he
great.
does. My Brad Pitt is there's limits to my voice because I can do some like hi Tom Hanks here. I can sort of or like Wallace Shawn, it's like inconceivable. You've beaten my strong man. There's a lot of rain. You beat my strong man. Iocane powder. When death is on the line, but that's one. Brad Pitt is sort of like good. It lives in like a very, because now it's like the Mexicans. He has sort of like a There's like
That's good. That
there's
was it.
something there, you know. So I've been trying to work on him. But Fight Club, if you listen before he started smoking a long time ago, he had a sort of like, gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. It's a very like, but now 20, 30 years later, smoking, he's like, you know, like he is in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work on him
Don't
from
cry
that.
in front of the Mexicans.
Yeah, that's what I always think.
Yeah, don't cry in front of them.
Oh, don't cry for the Mexicans.
Yeah, that's about it. He's one of those guys that sounds like he has something in his mouth, like he's eating. Well,
Jeff Bridges
that's
too.
right. Oh, Bridges is halfway
Sucking
through an
on a
apple.
lozenge.
Yeah,
Halfway through an
Buddy,
apple.
I just had an apple.
Buddy, I'm saving part of it for later, man. They said,
"Hey, bro, you want half of this apple?"
but I already got half an apple.
They saw this.
He ate the other half.
Listen, buddy, I gotta save part of this in my cheeks, man, for Bo. He's working right now at Ralph's. And they don't give him apples, man. They won't give him an apple. He's like, it's like
Oh, he's working at Ralph's and he won't give him an apple.
he's like, hey man, can I take a break? Jeff is here. I gotta take an apple break, man.
Oh no!
But yeah, he sounds like he has a lozenge in there, man.
My touchstone for him is, I always say, I just think this horse has a lot of heart. Man, it's from Seabiscuit. You
I
remember?
love Seabiscuit.
You love
I
Seabiscuit?
do. He goes, our horse is too big. It's big. Our jockey, or our horse is too small. Our jockey's too big, man.
He's like explaining why they shouldn't win.
He's telling you the movie.
It's in the trailer.
Happen?
But guess what?
We win.
This Seabiscuit floats, baby.
He has something where he's just like, we're gonna win, man.
Josh Rubin he always goes, and my brother Bo.
Oh, and my brother Bo.
When he goes low.
He has that. Well, you know, he did. Because when you see him in an interview, man, he goes, "Yeah, man, I was talking to a turtle the other day. His name is Larry."
But then when you see him in movies, a lot of guys drop the voice because I think that they don't think it's masculine to have a high pitched voice. Where it's like Jason Statham. A lot of the Brits do it. A lot of the go. Yeah. Oh, but in a movie, when you see Jason Statham on a couch, do you know what I mean? He's just like Pete. He goes, very nice indeed. I like the fridge over there. You know what I'm talking about? And then they go, all right, action. He goes, all right, here's the deal. Do you know what I mean? He drops it down like a fucking octave right here.
That's so funny.
But it's like, so they don't, that's my take. Like, they don't think it's masculine. And then they go cut and he goes, all right, can somebody get me a cream puff? And then,
that's my Brett Goldstein in Ted Lasso. Of course, he's doing a character. He's like, I want it for you. And then you talk to him. He's like, hey, Pete, how's it going, mate?
yeah.
We're going to go over here. And I'm like, Brad.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually, no shots fired here, Goldie. Love you. Oh, thanks, Pete.
Thanks.
You've made this point before on the pod. No, I don't listen anymore.
Yeah.
He
I won't
used
even
to.
hear it now.
I won't hear it because you made this joke before, didn't you? Because your wife has a crush on me.
Ooh,
It's true.
True.
It's true.
True.
Two truths and a lie.
He's waiting for this Google alert.
Well,
Maybe I'll watch this part.
It's a Bing alert.
ask Jeeves.
Jeeves,
When am I
decade ago.
mentioned?
Still waiting on it.
Still waiting.
Still waiting on Jeeves's reply on that one.
And then he drops down.
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
So good to be here.
Same thing with, by the way, Adam Driver.
Is he up here?
I tried.
Is he up here?
No, he goes, hi, yes. When he was on Girls, like, nachos. He has a sort of, yelling out there when he talks, in a film. He goes, I wish you were dead every day, from Marriage Story.
Yeah.
But then Kylo Ren is, Obi-Wan, or give me the strength. I mean, it's helping a little bit, but he's like, you're not me. There's something that
What
it
about
just sounds
Gosling too? That's a fake voice. I have a painting of Gosling on the wall. He's doing a voice.
I love
So
him.
is everybody. Everyone we love is doing a choice. All
Absolutely.
the artists we love. Billie Eilish doesn't. I talked about when Phoebe Bridgers did the podcast. We talked about like the choices of voices. It's not offensive or wrong. I'm not
you're
putting them
playing that-
down.
no, but also-
they're picking a voice.
I was going to say there's a character, and also I think,
you want a toothpick?
yeah, you want to think he has a
Hey, scary. Aren't you from Toronto?
Cornwall, Ontario.
Exactly. Scary.
I'm from Jersey, Canada.
I just stole that car.
Drive.
Hey, Nino, I just told that story about the scorpion. I don't think your friend made it. You're
Yeah.
from Canada.
I know.
And I'm
I love him.
jizzing
I
in my
love him.
jeans.
Dude,
That's
I
my
can't
point.
wait to see The Fall Guy.
That's why Brad Pitt, I don't know if you're going to get this. Brad Pitt and Macaulay Culkin sound kind of the same. It's like this cool voice. There's like or Rory Culkin. There's all this like choice of cool, and Brad Pitt doesn't talk like that. Like if he had never been exposed to our culture, he'd be walking around being like, hey guys.
But you know what's
he's-
funny? He still has a folksiness to him.
Yeah.
Like when you watch him in sort of like yeah, there's sort of like he's just throwing it off. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, he's like,
yeah, man.
He's like, well, things are going quite well for old Brad Pittsy over here, you know?
Yeah.
Like this sort of,
Whoops.
even in a movie like in Ocean's 11 or something, because
Come on, man.
right, he's always like, come on, man.
And Clooney, talk about dropping a register.
Oh, dude. So that was one that I tried to do.
That's stage whisper.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Are you
Hey.
in?
Hey.
Or are you out? Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
Are you in?
Are you in or are you out? And he always cocks his head. And
I'm jizzing my jeans this
but he's
whole
like-
episode.
By the way, he's not. By the way, get in a movie, Clooney, so this impression works on stage.
Right?
If you're not in a movie right now, people
Hate it.
They don't. They're like, he doesn't work, and I'm like, no, he's just not in a movie because I'm trying to come up with an Adam Driver bit on stage.
Yeah.
I tried doing Kylo Ren and Stimpy,
Nice.
not working, and it's
Sometimes a joke's too perfect.
and I was just like, happy, joy. And then people are like, well, is that a reference? And I go, if you have to ask, it's not working.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, because there's some of them that are just like Anthony Bourdain, that it's like, that if it's enough of who he is, but people, I ask the audience, I go, how do you know Adam Driver? And then people will go Kylo Ren. And I go, but he's not making Star Wars movies anymore.
Yeah.
So what would you know him from today? And it's like he's been nominated for an Academy Award, Black
Yeah.
Klansman. Like he's done a lot of stuff, but it's the same thing with Paul Giamatti. I've done Paul Giamatti for years. I'm now doing Paul Giamatti because of the holdovers. And everyone knows who I'm doing now.
They love
but
it,
for
yeah.
years, they didn't know.
Yeah. It's not good for shelf life. What's your Giamatti?
Yeah. Well. He sort of, Giamatti always got one of the worst phone calls. He goes, hold on one second, Pete. All right. And the podcast will just wait 1 second. Hello? Everyone I know has cancer? All right, I'll be right with you. Like, he always, well. I always do him on the verge of someone who's about to lose their shit.
The breathing.
The breathing.
The breathing is perfect.
He goes, well. You know, people do him. I love how in the interviews he tries to be the coolest guy in the world because people do him to him so much. He's talked about this.
Yeah.
And I go, well, he has no upper lip. He goes, I'm so hungry. I'm so stressed out. I ate my upper lip.
I ate my upper
I ate my upper lip. The upper lip gone.
That well.
Well. And he always has his head cocked. I got so much on my mind, I can't put my head up straight. And one of my favorite actors of all time, like one of my idols.
The Holdovers was
So good.
a jizz in my jeans. I'm sorry I keep saying jizz in my
Jizz
jeans,
in my
but
jeans,
that's
baby.
the only word for that movie.
I mean, it was.
And people were like, it falls apart towards the
No,
end. I'm like,
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
I just don't think
The third
so.
act is one of the best parts of the
It's
movie.
so sweet, and the
when
fact-
he does the thing, I'm not gonna say.
And I love how long it is because it reminds me of a time I didn't live through. It's like that's how. But you look at a movie from the 70s and you're just like, it's slower.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that you have Snapchat to get to.
Yeah.
So it'll just be what it's gonna be.
I know.
And it's very intentional and long and fun and boring. Well. And the cockeye doesn't. I love how people are like, that's how good of a movie. People thought he always had a cockeye.
Yeah.
But you're like, no, he never had one. It's
never
just
had
that's
one.
the movie.
No.
Well. Things are not great. Not great.
When you don't have a cockeye, but people think you do.
Well. Or John Adams.
John Quincy Adams?
No,
John Adams, the original John
I said,
Adams.
you know, I know how people are like, oh, was he good in the movie? I go, I'll tell you how good he was. John Adams was our second president, but he was the first one to not be reelected. I go, yeah, if he was anything like Paul Giamatti, I can see why. Because he's just bitching the whole time. Because he was a great lawyer, like defended, the British in the Boston Massacre. But he was just sort of like a guy, not really a great leader. Sort of pissed off.
Great leader.
Not a great leader.
Not a great leader.
I go, I'm friends with Washington. I know he's the older brother. You know, you wish that I would have died, not him. He's like in an 80s movie, he goes, it should have been you, Paul. Well, it wasn't. I'm still here in Washington and fuck off.
Have you read the book? What is it called? The Man Who Heard Voices. It's all about the Lady in the Water. This is just a recommendation.
No, but I love him in The Lady in the Water.
You got to read it.
Yeah.
And then watch the movie again. It's so fun. It's one of the best books I've ever read.
Really?
It's hard to find. It's like I don't even think it's in print anymore. I'm not saying that to be cool.
I bought every copy.
I bought every copy. I'm trying to bury it.
I'm doing I like what yours. Yeah, he has a sort of a big. There's a lot of air in him.
There's a lot of air.
He's like I said he's a stress ball came to life.
And then Thomas Hayden Church in Sideways too. That's one. I feel like we could find that one.
Yeah, Miles. He's like, come
Tons
on,
of
Miles.
fun. Come on, Miles.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, Miles.
Yeah, wait.
It's Raspy Cage.
Oh yeah, but he has no. Yeah, but it's even more through the nose. Where he's
Come
like,
on, Miles.
"Come on,
It's my
Miles.
rehearsal dinner.
We're gonna have a good time."
I'm Sandman, Miles.
I was up for that part.
I'm up.
Come on, Miles. We will drink Merlot. We are. Paul Giamatti is like doing a Nicolas Cage. All right, we'll go in there, but I am not drinking Merlot.
Would have worked.
Would have worked.
It would have
Both
worked.
Two-man show. It's a Broadway play, like the way Philip Seymour Hoffman and John C. Reilly did True West.
Yes. Sat right here.
Oh, my God.
I did John C. Reilly, I think, for John C. Reilly once, and I don't think he liked it.
I bet.
People
hate that.
People.
You
what?
must, but here's the thing. You're famous, and so people must. There's something charming like Kevin Spacey, and
What?
I'm not comparing
Yeah,
you. Guys, we'll be right back.
No, I know what you mean.
But when Spacey,
Well, how about Matt Damon? Matt Damon does McConaughey. People out here.
people out here? I do one McConaughey. Here's my
I
impression.
always do the same line. I was just about to do it. Please do
Please,
yours.
no, I want to hear it.
Oh, no. It's True Detective. He's looking out the window and goes, people out here, they don't even know. What is it? They might as well be living on the fucking moon. Fucking moon.
The thing about him is,
All
as
right.
he gets older, his voice is actually very high because
He's actually getting high.
It's getting higher. So most people, their vocal cords thin. So
out here he's sort of doing a thing where he's reading green lights, and his voice is sort of taking off.
but so
Because he's always, I don't know, he's always on a mystic quest. He's always having a conversation with you right here, but he's also having one with a turtle in his head. He's going, hold on one second. It's the same turtle Jeff Bridges was talking to, was Larry. So he's always sort of like, but the thing about life, he's sort of on another plane.
He's also one of those pure confidence guys. Like
I
what
love
he's
him.
saying isn't necessarily.
No.
Like I saw him on a podcast. No, it was when we were trying to get him on the podcast, and he was like, "What's the secret to life?" He's like, "Secret to life is I have something to look forward to, something to look up to, someone to look around to." I was just like, "What the fuck is happening?" Like it was very basic.
Yeah.
But his not bad basic.
No,
But
no.
his voice makes it sound like
well, he's very
Gandalf?
palpable.
Yeah.
There's something very digestible about him.
He's fucking salted butter.
By the way, the idea that like
He's the fucking coolest.
the coolest, he is a movie star. I mean, Dazed and Confused, one of my top 5 favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
And the idea that people still say, all right.
Incredible.
Or, incredible.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. I was up for that part. I said, listen, I said, Andre the Giant. They said, that's not his name. I go, excuse me, I'm talking to the giant right now. I said, we're all giants in our minds.
That is
I will
so.
be even
It's, you
seeing
know
it.
who it reminds me of? We're a few clicks from Vinnie Vaughn.
I like the energy, baby boy. That's my impression of Vince Vaughn talking to the sun. Hey, I like the
To the sun.
I like the
I like
energy,
what you're
baby boy.
doing. I like what you're doing. You're shining your rays, UV, UVB. I
Yeah,
can't do it.
the Ray
I
Ban.
can't
That's
do
why I
it.
have to call the Ray Ban because the band's the rays from the eyes. I was on the board of the sunglass company. You know what I'm talking about, babe? So by the way, I did him, but back to, I'm just saying you're famous. So when people are like, Pete Holmes is doing an impression, it's like, oh yeah, another famous guy is like, you're in that world. Whereas me,
I don't know.
I've done
But
it for
go on.
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and I
I-
don't like this.
Well, I'll tell you. So there's a couple opportunities. I was at Sarah Silverman's birthday party.
Yeah.
And Rogan was there, and Morgan Murphy, who I love very much.
Yep.
And
Rode on Two Broke.
yes, and she's so goddamn funny, and she was so sweet. And Rogan was like off to the side, and she said, "Seth is here. Does he know you do the impression of him?" And because it's like such a nice, intimate event, no one's phone is out, no one's being like that. I was like, I can't imagine. And she was, of course, just being the best. But I was like, I'm sure Seth Rogen right now, everyone's drinking and smoking and having a blast, doesn't want me to be like, hello, it's you. Like, what? Like, he's just at a private event, and I'm like, Seth, you're right there, and you're right here. This is fucking amazing. Oh! Like, there's no part of him like hoped that would happen tonight.
What if he was like, I love this?
He's like, this is amazing.
Maybe if he was on mushrooms.
He's like, finally, I can retire. He's like, I can just go in the forest and be an imp with the rest of the cast of Midsummer Night's Dream. But I did it for Vaughn, and it was very nice. He was very kind about it because I was in a table read with a bunch of people, and somebody had told him that one of us did an impression of him, but they didn't say who. And so it doesn't come up organically unless you go like, hey, this is you.
Yeah.
So everybody's leaving. It's over. The table read's over. We go to leave, and Vaughn goes to the bathroom, and Peter Billingsley is like, hey, you do Vaughn, right? I heard that you do Vince Vaughn. And I turn, and like Jason Voorhees, he's there. Like, I'm like, didn't you just leave? Didn't I hear your car start? And then he was just like, oh yeah, you do me? He's like, how do I sound? What do I sound like? And I could tell I was just like, oh my God. And then everybody was waiting for me to do it. And I was just like, hey, I'm from Illinois, baby boy. I like the energy. We got the same kind of thing going on here. And I think everybody was his face went as white as a ghost. And it wasn't a bad thing, but I was just like, I do other people. I'm not vocally stalking you. I was like, I do Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise. I just started doing other voices to be like, I do a bunch of them. I'm not like single white female.
That's how you took it, that you were doing it so well that he's like, this guy's unsafe.
Well, I think he was just like, I think he genuinely, because we used to have the same agent, and the agent paid me one of the nicest compliments about impressions. He's like, you could conduct business as Vince Vaughn on the phone, because he goes, a lot of people can do the tone, but because I talk so fast in life, he's like, you are the only. At the time, I mean, who knows? Maybe he was just shining me on, but he was like, you can talk as fast as he can. Which he goes, I've never met somebody that could do that.
Yeah.
He goes, that's really part of the impression.
Of course.
To do like, it's like doing, it's like when you hear somebody do an impression and like the pacing is just off.
Of course.
Yeah, you're just like, oh yeah, like you sort of get the tone, but like sound nothing like him at the same time.
Right.
And I was, so to be able to talk in sort of stream of consciousness and sort of like go all over the place with it. Like,
so you were like, I do other people, and he cooled off?
He did. Yeah, he was very appreciative because it puts him on the spot in front of all these people who are like, oh my God, how weird is this, on something that he gets it. Oh,
Scout's having some
so
snores.
Sweet.
Some doggy snores.
Oh my Lord.
It's okay.
So sweet.
He looks embarrassed. She looks embarrassed.
She's like, where am I?
That is
She was just
too
with Vince
funny.
Vaughn. But it's like a weird, it's just like, and so he was he took it very well.
Yeah.
And I think that in a weird way, and this was a long time ago, people were like, who is this guy? Like, because I imagine that Rogan with the laugh, or even Ray Romano.
Yeah.
But it's like you and Romano have done that fun thing together.
Well, I did that, and I've told this before, but it's almost over. I was singing as him.
Yeah, I remember. It was great.
He was coming in while I was going, and we just heard him in the darkness. We couldn't see him yet, and he just goes,
My poor wife, if that's what I sound like.
and then if you watch that video, the Romano sings duets.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, he doesn't. It didn't really. It was great, but it almost ruined the joke because I'm like, hip hop hooray, ho, and then he's like, hip hop hooray. Like, he sounds, especially when he starts singing, that quality goes away.
Yeah, of course.
So you're just kind of like, it was funny because he was there. It's not really why he sounded.
No, for sure. But it's like the Beatles always sound American.
Right.
It's like you
It
get
goes
rid
away.
of, because it's you're making sounds from all these
Unless
different
you're
places.
Billy Joe Armstrong, and you add it.
Yeah.
That's why we're
It's
like,
affected.
It's
Yeah.
an affected, which we're back to our original point. Blew his brains out into the bay. That sort of thing.
Or the
I love
wine
it.
rock of like Blink-182. Do you have the time?
Well, that's Green Day, but yes.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you? You mean
What's my name again?
all the small things.
Yeah, Dookie. Yeah,
but we like it.
Yeah, we do. I like it because it makes you instantly feel at home with these people.
Sure.
Because I grew up listening to Dookie. It was one of my favorite albums, and so it's just like, oh, Green Day's on.
Yeah.
And it's the difference between I never thought I'd reference this, but American Idol. When you go like, wow, they're technically great, or when you see a comic who like, wow, that person's funny, but people come to see your personality.
Well, we're back at Trump. We really are. Tom Petty. I remember when I was drawing cartoons for the New Yorker, they were like, you should be able to not draw in the way Bob Dylan can't sing, is what he said.
Yeah.
And he's like, Tom Petty, I should have known it. I should have seen. Like, that's not a classic You're not going to go into Westminster
Matinee Idol.
Abbey,
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, you little," but we love it. I was listening to,
Stairway to Heaven.
yeah, we want unique more than anything.
Yeah, because we're buying the person. That's why I think
Yeah.
like, and this is no slag on anybody, but the jokes are important. They are,
Yeah.
but they're especially at a headliner. Now, I think beginning you have to like establish that they both equal. But I truly believe that people are buying the person
Of
more
course.
than anything. When you're headlining, same thing with like why people want to hear hits from bands.
Yeah.
It's like the new stuff is fine, but if it doesn't sound like what we're used to,
Yeah.
of you, what we like about your personality,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
how
yeah,
that made
yeah.
us feel at that time in our life.
Yeah.
That's why it's like you can see somebody, obviously great joke writer, but it's like Sebastian. I love Sebastian, but I love listening
He's
to him
being
talk.
him, though.
Yeah, of course.
You got a coconut water,
You got
and it's got the top on the top like it's got a hard
Wait,
nipple.
there's a
and-
coconut? He's like, what's the camera? The coconut's got water? What? The other day I said, my wife was like, you got coconut water. I go, what's wrong with the tap?
That
I love him. He's from
is-
Arlington Heights.
comedy.
I saw this new stuff that he's working on, which I won't burn here, but like just listening to him complain about something where I was like, I don't think I've ever heard somebody complain about that, but I bet a lot of people complain about that, like in a joke. It was
Yeah.
great. I watched him work out something at the store, and people were just like, you could just tell that they were all laughing. Everybody was laughing. I don't want to say they weren't laughing, but you could tell that everyone was like, yup. Like they were just connecting with him.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
very cool to watch.
I think that's everything. Even a good date. Like if I think about Val and I's first dates,
Yeah.
there's what we were talking about, but then there's this like much more subtle, magical connection that's happening kind of behind the words.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't just mean sex. I mean, there's like a
Of course.
lot of things that's going on. And that's what we're with our comedians, our politicians, our actors. You do cruise? I've never seen you do cruise.
I let's see if I can do cruise. All right, hold on. He has a now he's sort of older. They ask him. They go, "What's your favorite movie?" Right? I love Tom Cruise. If you're listening, and I know you are, I love you. I
Got my Bing alert.
He goes, "I got my yeah." Sorry, guys. Somebody just said they love. Me.
Yeah. That was
very,
it.
He's very he's trying to be thoughtful. You know. On everything. Like, I love him so much. I love the Mission Impossible movies. I'm day one. I'm there waiting in line.
Yeah.
And I love him when they go, what's your favorite movie? Because everyone's grown up on Tom Cruise. My father grew up on Tom Cruise. Like,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah.
long Tom Cruise has been doing it. Tom Cruise was my grandfather's favorite actor. Sorry. He goes, what's your favorite movie of yours? And he goes, I don't know how to answer that. They're all my children. They're all my boys. I don't have a favorite.
Wow.
He's so
very good.
He's right here,
I don't want to make this a movie podcast because it's not, but who cares? Who
cares?
I am obsessed with all of the Mission Impossible movies except I don't love one, and I'm not.
I just did this for one. I don't like one.
Nobody likes one.
By the way,
They're trying to
stop
figure it out.
saying that one. By the way,
Did you
start
like
with-
one? No. When's the last time you watched it?
Recently.
Start with 2. That second one with him and Dougray Scott.
Well, 2 I'm not crazy about either, but it's okay.
I
It
love
really
2.
picks up on 3. 2 is woo,
Yeah,
and it's trying to be the Matrix.
sure.
3,
Well, you know why? Because
From-
Tom Cruise was offered the Matrix and he turned it down.
he did not.
Yes, he did. And you know this famous story about
I know Will Smith too.
Yeah, and do you know
He
that?
slapped it away.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
This episode is also brought to us by our friends at ONNIT, ONNIT. They are the makers of Alpha Brain, which has absolutely changed my life so much for the better. Alpha Brain is a nootropic. What does that mean? It is earth-grown ingredients, comes from the earth. It's also not a stimulant. It's not like caffeine or coffee. It's not going to get you all jacked up. It just gives your brain the nutrition that it needs, the science-backed nutrition that it needs to focus, to concentrate, and to dial in. It is absolutely wonderful. Any episode of this podcast for the past 10 years, I have taken 2 or 3 Alpha Brain 15 minutes before we sat down. Anytime I'm writing, anytime I'm doing stand-up, even if I'm just going out and want full access to my brain. I mean, what are you doing that involves your brain? Alpha Brain will help you use your brain. That's the best way I can put it. You can use your brain a little bit easier. That means concentration, focus, memory, recall. For me, creativity. It also, as a side bonus, sometimes I take it before bed and it gives me pretty cool dreams. So if you want to enhance your brain, I wish I knew about this in college. I'm so glad I know about it now. Go to onnit.com/weird. You'll get 10% off everything you see on that landing page. That's onnit.com/weird. Support your brain, support your creativity, support this show. And as usual, every episode of the show is brought to us by our friends at Modern Mammals. You guys know I hate shampoo. It dries it out, it fries it out, makes it poofy and floofy. It looks terrible. So my strategy for years was to just not wash my hair, and then it would look okay because it had the right amount of oil in it, natural oils. Modern Mammals cleans your hair, but it doesn't strip it of those oils, so it looks perfect. It looks like you didn't wash it. It just cleans it, if that makes sense. It's your hair, just cleaner. So now when I want my hair to look perfect, I wash it with Modern Mammals, the non-shampoo shampoo. Go to modernmammals.com/weird. Use promo code WEIRD. You can get a special bundle. You need to try the bar and the bottle with promo code WEIRD because they make these bars that are awesome for travel. So no liquid involved. And it's also pH balanced. Or you can try the bottle if you like more of a traditional shampoo feel. Go to modernmammals.com/weird. All right, everybody, back to the show.
The ones in zero was Jada's head. And so, come on. We should have cut the commercial before that. I mean, that was rude. But,
You mean the cascading numbers?
it's just Jada's head.
Oh, no.
But,
I do not want to be slapped for this.
I don't do a Will Smith, but I just, it's just his intro on all his rap songs. Like,
Boom, boom, boom.
But you know who turned down Morpheus was Sean Connery. He didn't understand the movie, and then he was also offered Gandalf, and he didn't understand the movie. So you know what he took was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Wow.
He turned down The Matrix and Lord of the Rings because he's like I don't understand. I
don't understand this.
The Matrix, and Will Smith is in this. Why? And knowing him, he'd be like the black fellow.
Oh, no.
And then he's like, wait, and then, but he was, but I couldn't, I mean, Lawrence Fishburne, obviously, I can't
It
see
had
it
to
either way.
be.
Can't see it. He was the one.
The whole thing.
It's so good. But yes, Mission Impossible.
I wanted to say, you were finish.
No, just that it's crazy what we turn down and then how we sort of make up for it. Like, I think because The Matrix, to me, it's one of the greatest films of all
and
time.
then T. Cruz making Mission Impossible
The second one.
is him saying, I can do that better.
I think so.
And because he's been doing it longer, that's how I feel about Cruz and Damon too. T. Cruz saw Bourne Identity, and it was like challenge accepted, and he's been going at it.
Yeah, because
real
the first
hard.
one is so. By the way, it's like how James Bonds are so different. You know, like I mean, I'm obsessed with James Bond, but it's like what's his name, Roger Moore.
Yeah,
not doing any karate. Like in the 70s, he's like, hi-ya. And then you're just like, and someone was like, we need to make this better.
Yeah.
So when they have Timothy Dalton come in, and I love Roger Moore, I'm hard right now, but it's like, you need, it got better for me. And then I think Daniel Craig, I love Daniel Craig the most.
Me too. I love him the most too. I just think in Mission Impossible 2, they're trying to be Matrix.
The Matrix, yeah.
And I wasn't crazy. It's very stylish. It's just very of the time. But 3 on, it's timeless. But I'm going to say something. I'm going to say this, Trump.
I was doing
Dead
De Niro.
Reckoning Part 1. I've tried a bunch. I don't think it works
That train scene
as well. No. Please. We're talking about a 5-star
Of course.
restaurant.
Yeah.
And some of the courses you were like, oh my God. There's just a few courses where you're just like, damn
Well,
it.
they've set the bar so high, and weirdly enough, it didn't get. And by the way, I love the Fast and Furious movies. Again, I'm day one I see them all.
Oh, interesting. I can't because you can tell they're on a green screen so much of the time.
But they're all about family.
And I don't like that either. I really don't. Where he's like, family.
He sounds like a CPAP machine come to life.
Vinny D?
Yeah. You ever heard him sing?
No.
My Funny Valentine, I think he does, or he does maybe Old Standards by Frank Sinatra. Don't quote me, but you can quote me.
He sings.
Yeah.
Vinny D.
Yeah.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine.
That's a choice.
I mean, yeah.
Door to his penthouse
Yeah, because
closes. He's like, I'm home.
Well, you listen to him. I mean, he's like, yeah, it was Groot. I mean, he has a deep voice.
Yeah.
But because, like, in the first one, he's like, a win's a win, a mile. You know, he has sort of a punchiness to his voice. But now he's like, we're all about family. You know.
Go on. So you even like those.
So I like those, but here's the thing I like about those. They take ridiculous to a whole nother level every time.
I agree. But there's like different levels. There's people that are enjoying it in earnest, and there are people that are like, I just love that you're going so nuts.
I like that they all now have dick guns or whatever it is. It's like now everyone's penis can shoot a bullet. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And so, but I like the thing I respect about the Mission Impossible series is it gets crazier, but it's like, but not like tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
They don't go to space, even though he and Elon are trying to do that.
I thought in Fast Furious
No,
they do
I'm
go
saying
to
they
space.
do. In Fast and Furious, you're going like, how do we go? Now we have to go to outer space, and then the next time we go to the multiverse. Like, it's just got to keep growing. Where somehow with the Mission Impossibles, it's all like the one that he did with Henry Cavill.
That's the best one.
Holy! I rewatched it again for like it's that bathroom fight scene.
It's the best.
It's unbelievable.
It's one of the best movies of all time. What is it called? Fallout. Fallout
It's so
is a
good.
constant watch for me. I can't stop watching it. It's so fucking good. And that's
Henry Cavill impression.
Yeah.
In the bathroom. He just sizes up, and then that little
it's
Japanese
one of the best
guy
moments.
goes, "You might be bigger, but I'm a little better." And then even after that, and he goes to punch, and then the guy just goes, "Ja, ja," and I'm like, somehow you believe. It's so everything
And
in
then
that movie,
it's-
you're believing it.
And then when the people walk in and they have to hide, and I'm just like, it's every good thing about. And
It's
there's no
funny.
masks.
Well, in Philip Seymour Hoffman,
Very few masks.
very few masks.
Do you have a wife? That's my Phil Hoffman.
It's very good.
Do you have a wife? I'm gonna kill her.
I'm going to say something real. This is my hot take.
Yeah.
I actually think that's one of the best performances of all time.
In Mission Impossible 3.
Yes, and I think
It's fantastic.
I'm talking about in film.
It's fantastic.
When he's just sitting
You'll
there.
meet no resistance here.
Yeah, he going, "You have a wife? Yeah, I'm going to hurt her real bad."
Yeah.
And he's just sort of like, "I feel
One.
bad for you."
One.
Oh yeah, one. Yeah, he feels bad for
And
how
it-
you're about to feel.
3 opens. Now we're just two guys talking about Mission Impossible. But
I mean, this is the new podcast. This is my
3
podcast.
opens in the best way a movie could open, and then they'll never open that well again, and that's true. And Fallout, that's the best stunt. Motorcycle off a cliff. It's crazy to be able to say this, but I'm like, once you jump out of a plane for real, and like,
Or when he's holding onto that plane in that one.
I mean,
holy
there's
shit.
a lot of things going on, and I think that stunt, and we're going to move on from this, everybody. We'll
Yeah.
get to ghosts and poop pants and what happens when you die, I promise. But I'm just saying, when I feel like that stunt jumping off the thing and then parachuting is impressive if you know what he's doing. Like, I feel like if you're
Yeah.
doing it, he's like, well, you realize if I didn't do it right, I'd fall and
Yeah.
I'd die. And we're just kind of like,
Well, it also
no, that just
became
kinda
it
looks
became
like
the movie.
It was.
That became like it was every trailer ended that way, and it became like, did you see the movie where he jumped off a cliff?
It's also when you go like, I have a punchline, and then you reverse engineer the setup, and I'm just kind of like, he's got to get on the train, and I'm just sort of like,
If you didn't
also
see it.
Bond,
Yeah.
in Skyfall, we already had him on the train with the digger, and he breaks onto it, and he gets on, and he has that great
And he
moment, and he
fixes
does his
this- oh,
cuffs.
come on, dude.
I'm jizzing. Sorry, but I'm gonna say one last
Jizzing
time.
my
I'm jizzing my
jeans.
jeans, and then I'm like, it's really hard, man.
You know what it was? It
Christopher
was
McQuarrie
British.
and all those guys, hats off. There's no shade here.
It was British Home Alone.
Which was?
Skyfall.
Skyfall is British Home Alone.
Yeah, because he's just like setting up all those traps for the burglars to come. The wet bandits. The wet bandits
It
are.
is. You mean at the end?
Yeah, it's
when he's
just
in-
British Home Alone.
It's British Home Alone.
So that was the one thing, and I love Javier Bardem in it.
Yeah.
I think that he is a great Bond villain, but I didn't like Casino Royale is just such a good movie,
Agree.
and so it's like, and there's so many ups and downs. It's like 2.5 hours long. I'm never bored for any of it.
Agree.
There's incredible stunts. There's incredible tension. The comedy's great.
Agree.
And so it's like, you know, that other one though, yeah, the best thing that he did was using the and then jumping into the thing.
Yeah.
And when he falls off the bridge after she's like, take the shot.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the water and then it's like starts the song. You're like, that's
Yeah.
the beginning?
Yeah.
And then it never sort of,
I agree.
yeah.
I'm not as crazy about Bond as I am about Mission Impossible, which is why I'm hopeful for a Dead Reckoning too. But it's just a tricky thing. Once you take AI and you're going to make it into a symbol on a screen,
Yeah.
and they're trying to bring everybody along. And I'm kind of like, it reminded me of The Happening, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, where it's like, we're afraid of the wind. And it's like, yeah, you're kind of afraid of the wind. You do have a villain who's kind of like the spokesperson for the AI, who somehow like knows the future because he's in with the AI. And I'm like, I'd rather it be a virus in a tube. I really would.
And guess what?
I really would.
I really would. The virus is Joe Biden.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe, you'll catch dementia. You know what that is, by the way? The virus with the representative is the Matrix. The best that ever did was Agent Smith, was the representative. Of. They already did that. So that's the thing about the AI thing.
Oh, you're right.
They've already done it. And by the way, you're never going to be as good as Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith.
Yes.
Is the Matrix. He's made of the Matrix. This guy was a human.
Of course.
He was like the lawyer for the AI.
He is.
And I was like, I'm already out. Because if this guy dies, the AI just gets another one.
He's Renfield.
Agreed. It's actually the issue that we have with AI in general is that human beings can't conceptualize it. We think linearly.
Right.
And AI expands exponentially.
It has to be the thing. It is the thing by its nature that we can't think of.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
So they're like, but we want to make it AI because that's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. The airport scene was cool with the face swap and all that. But just as a whole,
it's the never-ending story. You know, when the wolf is like for the nothing in the never-ending story, and the wolf is like. Is like the representative of the nothing that's coming.
Okay.
And it's like you just represented by like a black cloud, you know, and then you sort of like, but you need a messenger that we can that's palpable to us, that's suggestible to us.
Yeah.
So it's a wolf.
Yeah. So you need a face.
Yeah. So it's been done before. It's
tricky.
It is. It's very tricky, especially having such a high bar.
I agree. Yeah, but I'm glad you love them. I would even watch Dead Reckoning with you right now because even a bad Mission Impossible, it's like bad pizza.
Yeah, it's like
fuck off.
This becomes a Mystery Science Theater for us.
We did it. We did a series of that back in the whatevers a long time ago, where we just did commentaries for movies.
That's great.
It was super fun. All right, so have you ever seen a ghost?
So, one of the first jokes I ever wrote was about there was a girl. I don't really tell this joke anymore, and but there was a girl that I had been. Not dating, but just like casually seeing for a little while. And we always would hook up at my place because I lived in Hollywood and she lived in the Valley and didn't have an air conditioner for some reason. Mm-hmm. And one day we find ourselves at a bar in the Valley and she's like, hey, you should come back to my place. And I was like, oh, great. I was like, I've never been there before. And we go into her apartment and we're a little tipsy. And she goes, oh, by the way, I have a ghost. And I go, okay, and I was like, I wait outside. I was like, let's just hang out in the hallway here for a second.
You mean the Holy Ghost?
Yeah. I thought you were Muslim. And she goes, yeah, you know. I go, well, why would you think you have a ghost? She goes, I think I have a ghost. I go, well, why do you think so? And she goes, well, you know, the lights flicker on and off. And I go, yeah, that could be an electrical problem. Like she started naming all this stuff, and then she's like, well, one day I woke up and the door was unlocked, and I was like, oh, but did anything get taken? She's like, no. And I go, well, maybe you just forgot to lock the door.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well. And like, is there any other like palpable examples that you have or like tangible things, excuse me? And then she goes, well, this one time I like to take really hot showers, and I got out of the shower and the whole bathroom was steamed up. And as the steam was going away, I realized that somebody had written on the mirror, help die. And I was just like, well, you got to start with that one. I was like, what are we doing here, people? I said, hey, by the way, if your life at any point mirrors, no pun intended, paranormal activity, don't bury the lead.
With a flickering light.
Yeah. Hey,
help die
on her mirror and
help die.
Yeah. Well, what is it?
That makes me think
it's a bipolar ghost. Well, what is it?
It makes me think it's saying like it's trying to say help I died
maybe something, but
yeah.
That's the closest. But so I've had that happen, and then my childhood best friend, we're both from Illinois.
Were you like, great story? I'm going to go take a really hot shower.
Yeah. I said, great story. Let's fuck in the hallway.
You know what's a great place to have sex? The hallway.
Yeah. You know what's a great place to have sex? The firehouse that they turned into a ghost busting headquarters. Well, I make a joke and I go, I can't be having sex with a woman and then just see in the corner a little blob go, oh, I'm almost done. Keep making eye contact, you selfish fuck. You know?
A new kind of Slimer.
Well, that's what I said. I go, I'm only doing one kind of busting tonight.
Makes me feel good.
And That's the new joke that I have about taking a black light to a hotel room. It's like, we don't need the Citizen app because it's like taking a black light to a hotel room. I go, oh my God, we're staying in the Ghostbusters suite? Apparently Bustin' made him feel good.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
I'd love to open for you. And
Please let me open.
Please let me open for you. Okay? Just, a lot of heavy racism cloaked in American patriotism.
I can't believe why that he doesn't have just Klan robes that are red, white, and blue. So, but the
Beautiful robe.
Beautiful robes. Not white, a coat of many colors. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Clan robes, okay?
But my friend growing up, his nephew, who I know very well, this is when he was a little kid. They had an aunt who was obsessed with Halloween, and she passed away. And when he was a little kid, he was too little to really speak in coherent sentences. And he said he saw a woman at the top of the stairs, and he said that she said everything's going to be okay. And they were like, "You put that sentence together pretty fast."
Whoa.
And so that was when I was a kid, that was the story that we all passed around. It was like, that was
Everything's gonna be okay.
Everything's going to be okay.
Friendly ghost. Kind of a Casper.
Kind of a Casper, okay?
Great mattress.
Friendly ghost, Joe Biden, almost dead. Yeah, friendly ghosts. The ghost of a child, very weird. Casper, ghost of a child.
Naked, dead child.
I can see a Slimer hanging out of his pants.
And 3 dead bully ghosts.
How weird is that?
I don't know, man.
That's the worst. It's like, not only do you die as a kid, your bullies died, and they're still bullying you.
It makes me think they were together. I'm not trying to be funny. They were all together.
It was a scam.
It's a scam.
It's a scam, just like healthcare. Wait, are you a big ghost guy?
I just like I like asking people. I've never. Well, everybody knows my dead cat haunts me to this day when I visit my mom's house. But I like it because it's like a. You know what I like? Any story of a disruption because it puts you in the present, I guess is one way to put it.
Yeah.
It's like when we're going around and we're wearing pants and we eat breakfast, then we have lunch and we do some work and then we watch TV and we go to bed. That's sleepwalking. And I like any story like this one. Like, have you ever almost died? That's another story.
Bunch.
A bunch.
Yeah.
A bunch.
A bunch, okay, like grapes.
I almost choked to death.
Oh, no.
And then people thought I was doing a bit.
Where were you?
On stage at a comedy club. No. I was at a picnic.
That happened to a guy. There
Who
was a
choked
guy
on
who
stage?
died on stage. He had a heart attack, but it was during a big physical routine.
Wasn't it a British guy?
I don't know, but they thought it was a joke.
Well, he killed. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
I
I mean, I've talked to people about that before, and they're like, "Was that the best way to die? Like he's murdering, and you go out on a big laugh."
So what's it? Voltaire, who I think the play-
Voltaire de Mort.
Voltaire de Mort. Say his name 3 times. Beetlejuice. What? Now we're back. Beetlejuice. Don't say. I've seen it twice now. Don't say it 3 times.
Blue Beetlejuice.
How are you? Hey, Blue Beetlejuice. How are you? Hey, how are you?
Oh,
I love Michael Keaton. I wanted to be one of 5 guys when I was growing up. Like I was like, oh, one of these guys, and Michael Keaton was one of those guys.
Yeah, great choice.
He's great. He's just. I tried to do him. I was like, excuse me, can I talk to you for a second? Can I talk to you for a second? He goes, hey, let me just say this. That jacket looks unbelievable on you. Okay.
That's very good. Very good.
I love Michael Keaton.
Yeah, very good.
But
I love Michael Keaton so much. I enjoyed The Flash.
By the way,
I did.
he was great in it.
He's great in it. I thought I know Ezra.
Problematic.
Problematic.
I still listen to Michael Jackson.
I thought
Ezra Miller, the Michael Jackson of today. Because he's grooming children like with a comb.
oh no, I don't know enough details to join you in the riff or know if I should walk away. So I'm just
The
going to
camera
not.
just shuts off.
And then we see "Help Die" written behind me. No, I thought I thought it was a good movie.
It was a cool story.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I think we're spoiled.
100%.
We're spoiled. I did a podcast and it was clearly the intent was to make fun of The Flash, and I was just like, shame on all of us.
Dude,
if
nah.
that movie came out in 1999, we would have been like, there's a new religion.
There's a new bar.
Yeah. But now there's
Tom
just
Cruise,
too
if it
much.
came out in 99, Tom Cruise, and he probably would have turned it down.
Yes.
Would have done. Because it's funny, he hasn't been a superhero yet.
T. Cruise.
So they think Ultimate Iron Man, he might be in the multiverse. but he's got to be something.
They're doing a new Iron Man called Ultimate Iron Man.
No, in the in Secret Wars or like in the next iteration, I think they're going to see a bunch of multiverse examples of people. And there's I think he might play Ultimate. I think there's like a rumor that he might play Ultimate Iron Man.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So you just have him going like, "Hey, I'm Tony Stark." No, I'm I'm Tony Stark. I'm a
Hey.
yeah. Excuse me, who is this guy over here? I met him one time. Met Robert Downey Jr. He is exactly the way you think he would be. He's very just like, hey, how are you? Good. What's up? And then somebody else was like, do you do the impression for him? And I go, no. I want him to remember me well.
Yeah.
Because I truly love, like, ever since I saw Weird Science or Less Than Zero as a kid, I was like, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Chaplin.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the guy.
Yeah,
So like when
it's the guy.
the guy. Yep, it's the guy. Great.
Well, I'm the guy.
Obviously, he does this thing where you're not sure when he's going to finish the sentence.
I get nervous though because I'm like, there are people writing for him,
Yeah.
and then when I see him in an interview, but he's kind of extending the persona that's been built by the writers.
It's what I said about
get
Christopher
nervous.
Walken, and yeah,
You know, same with Christopher Walken.
but it's
like,
all those guys. It's Pacino.
I
Do
get
I really
nervous.
have to do this up now? What camera?
You see, look, I'm not pulling the curtain back, but Robert Downey Jr. is, as Tony Stark, the guy that always has the brilliant thing to say, and he always wins.
This guy in every interview when he's talking to Kimmel, Kimmel's right here, and he goes, still talking to Kimmel.
Yeah.
He's still like, hey, what's up, Kimmel? How are you?
And
Good.
it's tricky when you know that now he's just Robert.
Yeah.
And I get nervous that he's going to be like, well, count a jelly bean any which way, it's still breakfast. And you're like,
yeah.
not that he does, but I worry that he will.
But I also
he
think
does a good job.
adopting a personality in a weird way because people want to see, like Ryan Gosling, perfect example. I think that he was sort of like really cool in those interviews, and now he's sort of like, he's like taking because of Barbie. He like finally did a comedy where it was like you were so beautiful and ridiculous. I loved it. Him in that movie, and it's like now he's like laughing on SNL, and it's like this perfect. Not perfect, but it's just like this guy, this like thing for a lot of people is sort of like busting up in a sketch.
Yeah.
And I think so he's sort of like changing. Because I think a lot of times
does change.
he was in interviews in the beginning, we're like, oh, you're doing this movie. And he goes, yeah, I guess I'm here to promote a movie. You see the movie? That was pretty good. How much longer till the commercial? Like he
You're
was just
absolutely right.
And
and the publicist was like, less is more, Ryan. Less is more.
I said that
Yeah.
to myself. I'm watching him. I'm going, by the way, you're dressed unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he listens to a stylist.
And
he's listening to a publicist.
And the publicist says, say less. Matt Berninger, name drop from the National ones, gave me his publicist's rules for doing press.
Yeah.
And, it's the classic things like answer the question you want. You wish they had asked.
Not the one they're asking, right?
Which is classic.
Yep.
But like there were, less is more was definitely on that list. And when Ryan does make a little joke, people go nuts. It lands.
Like Jurassic Park.
What did you do to get in that shape? Well, didn't have a lot of PB&Js, I'll tell you that.
I was just thinking chocolate.
Yeah.
I gave up Hershey's for a month.
Yeah, and we're jizz.
And we're just like,
We're jizz.
He's like, well, it was a good,
Or also he was like, what does your daughter think of it? She goes,
But I suck. What are you
That's
gonna do?
so good.
because Brad Pitt makes that joke about where he's like, he's the coolest guy in the world except to his children.
That's the angle.
And it's like,
I've said this.
I'm just a regular schmo.
I've said this a million times when I was a kid because I really feel like I got boozled. Can you say bamboozled?
I can.
Is that like an offensive term? It sounds like it's something from like blaxploitation or something.
There is it's from the olden days.
Okay. I felt like I had been had.
I'll say it, bamboozled.
In GQ or something, Brad Pitt was like, how did you get in shape for Fight Club? I'm realizing Brad Pitt was in my dream last night and he had his shirt off and I was like,
Talk about name drop.
well, I'm the one I'm risking it all right now. No, I'm not embarrassed. There was a topless Brad Pitt in my dream last night, and I was going, "Look at this. This is Fight Club."
Is it Fight Club Brad Pitt?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
That's what I said. Of the Brad Pitt in my dream, I was like, "I got Fight Club Brad Pitt." Like
Dude,
I said, which one I had.
I have a joke about there's probably a pigeon fight club right now, like because they fight each other, and I go, I bet there's a Brad Pitt pigeon, a Brad pigeon, and but he just has the yoked body that all the other pigeons want.
Yeah. Well, that's why I feel like it wasn't sexual. I guess maybe I'm feeling slightly vulnerable. Who cares?
Who cares?
But it's like, that's what I want
That's
to
what I
look
want.
like.
I was just gonna say it is such an ideal.
Yeah.
And even that, because I work out obviously, but I remember Mac from Always Sunny when he got like jacked.
Yeah.
I thought that was easier to do than what Brad Pitt did. And I talked to my like friends of mine who work out all the time. And they're like, no, what Mac did was way harder. But weirdly enough, Brad Pitt, that is the ideal because he's like, it's lighting is helping him, diet. Yeah. He has like paper thin skin. Like it's like, and he's the fucking coolest guy in the world as Tyler Durden. So it's not only that.
I was with you. I thought being that refined was harder than just blowing up.
Yeah, because I think like not that everybody can or can't gain weight, but you have to have such a specific frame for what Brad Pitt is doing.
Agree.
And so it's like,
and that's I think why we like it. We go, this is God.
100%.
His genetics have chosen him.
He goes, I look like how you want to look. I fuck how you want to fuck. Yeah.
You found him by the end,
buddy.
Perfect.
I was like, yeah.
And then Taryn would go, buh.
Yeah, but Taryn does a great one. Taryn does a
buh.
Taryn, I love Taryn's because it's like him from Seven, which by the way, you know who turned down that part? Denzel Washington. Turned down Brad Pitt's part in Seven. Thought it was a little too weird of a movie. I couldn't see him being like,
all right.
He goes, no, but this guy, he goes, nah, he's not good enough. Yeah, that's because he's sort of doing that thing where he goes, this guy, when he's like trying to explain to the lieutenant or whatever about him, he goes, don't worry about him. This guy's nuts. You know, he's just like sort of throwing away. Yeah.
You have perfected your Brad Pitt during this conversation.
I only need a podcast. Give me one at the beginning, and I go, yeah. But he's sort of like, that's the thing where he goes, nah. He goes, yeah, right, all right, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
And that's very similar to Denzel.
Yeah, all right.
I always used to watch, all right. And then I would watch Dean Edwards do Denzel.
Incredible.
He always goes, that's you, all right,
that's you,
all right,
okay,
all right,
okay.
All right.
When I do that.
That's the scary Denzel where he's like, all right, play, okay.
You ever watch The Equalizer? You tell me you're a fan of it.
What are you, fucking nuts?
I love those movies.
What are you, nuts? I'm fucking about it.
Dude.
I've seen them all. Come on, killer. Come on, killer.
Okay, and all right.
Only 5 pounds of pressure. That's all it takes.
Oh,
5
that
pounds
opening
of pressure.
scene in number 2 is one of my favorite scenes of all time when he brings the girl back and he has a credit card. He goes, give me your credit card. Give me your cell phone.
Yeah.
And he goes, well,
what's her name? Say her name. Say her name.
Bro.
Say her name.
And then he lets one of them.
What's her name?
Bro.
What's her name? And then he breaks it. Those movies are just fucking, we're very similar dudes. Those movies are fucking, I don't know what they are.
The casualness though of him, which I think in terms of like the greatness of acting, John C. Reilly is another example, but whenever you're like Jesse Plemons, I just saw Civil War the other night.
What's Civil War?
Civil War is a new A24 movie about how America's in a civil war, and it's with Kirsten Dunst and Ron Swanson. Nick Offerman plays the president, where he's like, and it's you don't know what they're fighting about because again, war. We don't know what we're fighting about. We just know that you're bad and I'm good in my mind.
Yeah, and
so it's like it's a very interesting take from the perspective of 4 photojournalists.
Oh, okay,
and
love me some Plemons.
Yeah, so he's in it for 10 minutes.
Plemons looks like a delicious roadside marmalade.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
And God said, "Let there be marmalade." That hair, when he gets old and has to dye his hair, he go, but how would you want it? And he just brings in, I want it to look like this bed and breakfast.
I realized I was sort of making a ginger joke. I just mean he's got a folksy, I could also say pickled rhubarb. Like he's got something
equally as delicious and sweet.
Roadside or a relish, a sweet relish for hot dogs.
Well, he looks,
I like everything about him is what I'm
is.
saying. Yeah.
It's like, I never have to be like, okay, what is he now?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a doctor now.
Yeah.
Like in
he just
Killers
is.
of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
He was my favorite part of the movie. When he just comes in, he goes,
get that far.
When he goes, he's like, oh, I'm here to investigate the murders. And he goes, and then somebody goes like, what are you here to investigate? And he goes, well, we're trying to figure out who's doing them. Like, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
So the thing about Denzel is whatever he's doing, and I always said the difference between Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise, thank you for asking, is Tom Hanks is an ordinary man in extraordinary situations. So he's just like this folksy sort of Forrest Gump, but he's meeting the president and saving us all in Vietnam. And Tom Cruise is an extraordinary man in extraordinary situations. He's the only man who can save the world, and guess what? He needs to save the world.
Yeah.
And Denzel has his own sort of angle where he's sort of the guy that is just right for the job that he's doing. And he plays boxers, right? He plays corrupt cops. He plays good guys, superheroes in disguise. And there's always such an ease about him.
Give me a credit card.
Yeah, give me a credit card. Yeah, but also he's already decided you're going to give it. He just has to ask you so you don't ask him, why did you just snatch that out of my hand?
Yeah.
So he's already ahead of you.
No,
he's
way
ahead of you
ahead
in
of
every
you.
scene.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, give me a credit card. Like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm just being polite and asking you.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is such a talent of just like, even though you know he's about to destroy these guys.
Yeah.
There's no tension of it. You're just like, oh man, this is just going to go wrong for you guys.
I know.
And his ease and ability to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's funny, I would have loved to have seen him in Brad Pitt because that's what Morgan Freeman is doing in that movie. I'm retiring. He's sort of like,
I'm retiring.
I'm retiring.
I can't be chasing.
I don't want to be
the
John
seven-
Doe. I don't want to see John Doe. And then the other guy's like,
I don't want to see John Doe.
wanna
I've never
see-
done a agitated Freeman.
I don't want to see John Doe. I got to retire here.
I don't want to be there.
I don't. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know I could speed it up.
I was going to say, but that's what it is. He never gets loud. He just goes like,
I never get loud.
I never got call me
Zach Braff,
They call me
beautiful
Batman
director.
from Lean on Me. When he's like when he's the teacher and he goes, now I got a bat, so then call me Batman. It just he doesn't get
and
loud.
then later he goes, and your plan is to blackmail this person?
That's amazing in Batman.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, Mr. Wayne.
That scene killed in the theater with kind of a Plemons type. That other guy's a little bit of a Plemons.
A little bit. You're
Little Plemons.
absolutely
Semi-Plemons.
right. Semi-Plemons. He's semi-Plemons. But you know, that's the thing about him. That I was like the easiness of it, and the thing about Brad Pitt, he's the best when he can be a character because obviously we're all hard, and but it's like, but not. He's obviously great as Achilles, but he's weirdly better as the handyman that probably killed his wife.
I completely.
Who the
I
stunt
don't
man.
even think it's weirdly.
Yeah.
It just,
he's a character.
I don't know why I didn't like Bullet Train. Can we get into that? Because you know what one of my favorite. It's tied for first favorite movie. Jesse James.
I saw it
Are
in
we
the
the same
theater
person?
alone.
I saw it in the theater with a girlfriend who I now am realizing I wasn't alone, but I felt alone. She was a sweetheart, but
I own the movie on DVD.
I own the movie on DVD, Blu-ray, and I've obviously got it on my Apple TV.
100%. I mean,
I'm obsessed with
that movie is perfect.
You're acting queer. In the movie, it makes sense.
Yeah. By the way,
You feeling all right, Bob?
everybody
You're acting queer.
Yeah, when he's staring at him, and
he looks
like,
dead, and
dead.
he's tapping his head.
Yeah, he goes. I love that.
I don't got much.
Or Sam Rockwell is
I don't
so
got. Oh,
good
that's
in the-
not Sam Rockwell.
No,
This
I
is the
know.
guy. Yeah, but Sam Rockwell's amazing. I could use a couple more hours.
Come on, Bob. Yeah, he's
Let's
there's
have
such
some
a
more
nervous-
conversations.
Yeah, come on,
Let's have some more conversations.
Yeah.
Go on, Bob. He had a list as long as your nightshirt. I know. And then the other guy who plays Dick Little.
Yeah. Oh, the guy from Parks and
I
Rec.
will be hot. Yeah,
Dude,
Sorry,
no.
I'm just obsessed.
I'm obsessed. I
We're
saw
just
it in the
talking
theater
about the movie now.
at ArcLight during the day.
I also saw a matinee at a Dollar Theater in somewhere in Massachusetts.
It's so, and the
best movie.
music. I like that Brad Pitt does the least amount of talking because I think
Yeah.
that the legend that is Jesse James.
Yeah.
We make up all these fables and
I
stories.
agree, and that's the point of the book. I've read most of the book because
I haven't
that's
read
how
it.
obsessed I am. It's a great book.
Yeah.
it's really great. But anyway,
But yeah, he's good in that as sort of like a weird sort of mystery guy. He goes,
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
us, Bob. Yeah.
Well, your heart remembers. It's your head that forgot. Then he shoots him.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That movie.
That's Garrett Dillahunt. No. Oh, he takes out Garrett Dillahunt. Remember when he goes to visit him and the guy's just sitting alone and he knows that death is coming for him?
Yeah,
He's just alone.
Well, that's the one that goes. I don't got much.
Yeah.
Your crops come in.
Yeah, crops come in.
Oh, I don't
He's
got
so
much.
careful and he's so easy. He goes, hey, let's you and me take a ride.
What do you say we go into town? I'll buy you dinner. And then you know he's gonna kill him.
Oh well, he's like he's literally waiting
I'll buy you dinner
for death to come.
Yeah.
He just knows.
And you know, B. Pitt, I believe, went
busy.
in and sort of famously re-edited that movie. That there was like a 4-hour cut. It wasn't working.
Whoa,
They almost
I didn't know
scrapped it.
that.
I believe Plan B, and everybody went back in. Somebody went back in and re-edited it.
And Casey
rescued it.
Affleck.
He's incredible.
Nominated for an Academy Award, rightfully so.
Was he nominated?
For Best Supporting.
Should have won.
Same thing with John Hawkins the same year for Winter's Bone. In that, there's that same sort of cagey.
Yeah.
There's like an old school. It's almost like a very hickish and white.
I agree.
Sort of like farm.
He's perfect.
Like there's a
And he evolves as the movie goes. He
Or at the
starts out
end-
like, I can't remember any of the lines. I make such a crummy first impression.
Oh.
You know what I was just thinking about? Jesse James and,
Yeah.
and the Nickelbook. They're all lies, you know.
Oh,
Of
dude.
course they are.
Of course they are. He's just goddamn.
You don't. Oh, you know what Mulaney and I still say to each other? We go, you don't have to smoke that if it's making you mungy. We say that all the time. You're smoking a cigar. You don't have to smoke that if it's making you mungy.
Dude, it's so good. The language is amazing.
That's why the book is great. Yeah, you'd love the book because it's just that for 7 hours, however long it takes you to
And
read
it's
a book.
just as accessible. I also like that I sort of vaguely love and know everybody in the movie. Even except Brad Pitt, like who's the global superstar.
Yeah.
Like Sam Shepard is the brother.
Yeah.
It's just like you just
Yeah.
vaguely know everybody, and
I
they're
know.
all. Jeremy Renner's great.
They're great. He was wrought. He was wrought up, perplexed, despondent. That's the narrator. Even the
Yeah, the
narrator is
narrator
good.
is so good.
They left. He read the passage from Matthew
It's
about
so
the Holy
comforting.
Family.
I'm like, that's how people talk back then.
yeah, I agree. And it's it's not.
No.
It's absolutely not. He would secretary their dialogue. I'm like, no, he didn't. He
No.
went, what you say?
Yeah, that's the one thing, right? They're so
It's
like,
a romanticized.
They have too much teeth.
Everybody's like, you fry them up in oil. That's good eating. I'm like, no, I don't know if you guys talk like
Fry
that.
them up in oil.
No, garlic and oil. Damn, that's good eating.
I like people like you know we were looking at Alien. There's one of the famous photo that I just saw in I was up in Salem, Massachusetts, and
That's where I worked. My first job.
oh really?
I was a reenactor in Salem, Massachusetts.
You look like that.
I do look like one of those.
That's but perfect.
It's probably still working. Cry Innocent. Maybe you saw it.
No,
Did you see any Puritans walking around?
it was the off season.
Okay, yeah.
and so they'd burned all the witches for the season, and
Only in England did we burn witches.
never
You
there.
should have learned that.
I read the Crucible 100 times.
We're hanging him, baby.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They the news
be-
is at the gift shop.
By the way, as a reenactor, I answered that question 30 times a day.
Yeah.
Burn the witch. Only in England. That was illegal. And we're still under
Sir,
the charter.
Yeah, that's a lot
Now-
of fake news out there about us.
That's true. Not one witch was burned in the United States.
whoa.
Yeah.
They were-
Hung. Hanged.
and they were drowned. Wasn't that some of them?
The
or-
test that like put them in water thing, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that was England as well. Sorry, England.
Oof.
Not so polite now,
No,
are you?
you're not.
Whoopsie doodle.
You know who they say every place you colonise would say that. You know.
Right. Hey, why do they take tea in Uganda?
I wonder. It's
Wonder-
not native to the land, is
Doesn't
it?
seem.
No.
Did you kind of bite your lip?
Ugandan tea.
Ugandan tea?
Never heard of it before. The British
No,
one. Anyway.
no, go to India. Everybody's on your schedule.
Oh wait a minute. The West Indies.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Not too polite.
No.
You guys are polite, but then you kind of stick your beak.
You stuck your
beak
beak in, and that's a
round.
sword. You know,
Yeah.
like a
Wasn't really a beak, was it? More of a sword,
more of
wasn't
a
it?
dick.
More of a
As
dick.
you fuck the country. You know.
Yeah, fuck the whole world, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we
Yeah.
split off. Now we got the US. Now we're better, aren't we?
We're-
but now
yeah,
we're doing it.
now we're doing it.
Now we're
Yeah.
doing it.
We're New
Uh-oh.
England.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
This riff is turned on itself because we're doing it now, aren't we?
Yeah, yes, we
go.
are.
Yes, we are. We're going to get it all
New England.
beautiful.
I call England old America.
We're coming for your cell phone
We're
batteries.
coming for your cell phone. We're coming for your tea so we can dump it out because I'm a Diet Coke and fried chicken guy. But the thing about when I was up there, I saw this painting in a museum of paintings. There was one photograph, and it was a Civil War camp, and there was a guy who clearly had never seen a camera before because it was alien technology.
Yeah.
And he's just staring, and I will never forget the look on that man's face. He was seeing something that
Yeah.
had never been seen before, and
Yeah.
it was captured.
Yeah.
And so
We took a picture of a guy going, wait, what?
that's what it is. They're at and most people aren't paying attention because they're going about their way.
Jonathan, we're minutes away from... And we're going to go, huh?
Huh?
And
And
they'll be
they're-
like, ChatGPT made a thing.
We're that face.
They made what?
Yeah, and then click.
It's making
you go
stuff?
in what?
And we go...
click. And then you. By the way, it turns out it's a Black Mirror episode, and it pulls back, and your photo's next to that guy.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
You look in the white of his eye and you can see the picture of
Yeah.
me.
Oh no. And then he's looking at us, and he's like, "Look at these fools." As we're looking at him, because the thing
Yeah.
is, it's amazing to see. There's a theory, or this might be folklore, that when the colonizers came to the Eastern Banks, that the natives had never seen them before, so like some of them couldn't see them, that they like couldn't remember because it was such an odd thing to see that like their brains just could not comprehend.
Yeah, there's
what
a
they were
word
seeing.
for that. It's not schism. I always say schism, but there's a word for that when your brain will
it won't accept
it
what
won't
it's seeing.
accept what it's seeing. A lot of like psychedelic experiences, you just come back and it's just been deleted. It's just gone. Your dreams, by the way, to make it more universal.
Yeah.
I know I was ripping through some crazy dreams, and to quote Terrence McKenna, they're gone before your feet hit the floor.
100%.
They're gone.
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
But I'll tell you this right now, Johnny. The first 4 hours of my day are in direct proportion to how I was dreaming. My dreams are so impactful. And I don't think that's just me. I think that's a lot of us. Like, you just kind of can't shake something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just chased by a giant with the face of, Richard Nixon.
Yeah.
And a ding-dong shooting bumblebees.
No, for sure. And that happened for such a long time.
And it was real to you. It was real to you.
Well, that's why I hate having a dream where I'm doing something physical, because then I wake up feeling exhausted.
You feel tired.
I'm just like, God damn, I have to be up now. I was just running forever.
That's why when I was waiting tables, you'd work until 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Go home, go to bed.
Yeah.
You wait tables all night.
Oh, you come back and you're like, oh my God, I never got them that broccoli.
And you never got a break.
No. I'm like one shift for another.
That's true.
It's like the show, what's the show that Adam Scott is on?
Yeah. Severance.
It's that. I mean, I think that's why we connect to it so well, because I'm like, I've been there for certain.
Yeah. No, we know. We're all severed from our dream life. I also thought that show was the perfect metaphor for our unconscious.
Yeah.
Which is, your dreams are your time for your unconscious to kind of have the reins.
And to be more, yeah.
So like how I feel right now, I used to think it was food and sleep. And I'm like, baby, food and sleep are the adorable attempts we make on feeling how we want to feel.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's like 90% is our unconscious.
Yeah.
Like unresolved feelings.
Exactly. We don't know. And they keep popping up.
Yeah.
And until we figure out what those are.
And it's actually,
They just keep, hammering away.
It's actually a gift. My mom texted me something today, and I just whited out with like a lot of like completely irresponsible, like, what's the word? Disproportionate, like anger. Because she keeps asking me to plan her 50th wedding anniversary party. And we're coming. And I'm like, and I've told her, I'm like, that's our gift, is we're coming. She's like, will you get this? Will you do the food? Will you do the music? Will you do this? And today she was like,
will you do 10?
Well, they want me to do a funny speech. They want Val to sing.
Hilarious.
And then she was like,
can I open
you
for you?
print? Yeah, of course. That one you can, for sure. Yeah. They go, can you print pictures of us? And my mom, my mom is asking me this, like, please print photos of your father and I. And I was really, really upset. And I didn't know why. It's your unconscious. And then Val, thankfully, is like, Pete, look, my parents did the best they could. And I really mean that. They are not responsible. They did the best they could.
Yeah.
But their marriage was not an easy one. And that was hard on the whole family.
Right.
And now she's like, can you plan the party? And Val's like, don't you see? Sometimes you need someone from the outside to be like, your dream meant this. That overreaction meant this.
Yeah.
Like, it's enough that you're going, but somebody's like, will you print photos of us? And it's like, that was a hard pickle for me.
Yeah.
It's okay, I can forgive them, but I'm also like, it's hard for me to be like, start spreading the news.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
You're like, call my agent.
Yeah. Well, I just ignored it, but I wanted to reply, here's a party planning.
I was going to say, here's an address to a Walgreens for those photos. Like, what? I just checked you into Walgreens. They're expecting you in an hour.
Yes.
Well, my parents just celebrated their 50th. And
we're the same.
Yeah.
We're out here watching Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
So they just celebrated it?
So they're doing a huge party.
In the wind. He at Colors in the Wind, I played the raccoon.
People out here. Now I got it better because I heard yours. It's like, they might as well be living on the fucking moon.
Well, you can do it better than me because you have a higher voice.
Yeah, it's natural.
Mine is a bit of a...
It's a Jeff Goldblum for me. It's a little bit of a struggle bus.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. 2 different shoes. Yes. Beautiful. Nike. Yeah, just do it. Oh, not saying. Never would.
Jeff Goldblum is a little, impressed about every thing.
He's his own nature show. He goes,
yes, I watched a leaf started up there and gravity.
You are so right. You're really cracking open show business. We want people that are their thing and they do that consistently.
Yeah. Well, but Jeff Goldblum is such a. Everybody loves him. He dresses cool and kooky.
Yeah.
He dresses the way that he is without being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Like it's not that
I
he's,
agree.
because when people dress obnoxious, which
pink fedora.
pink fedora,
beautiful.
I love the movie Barbie. It became my life.
Yeah.
But I like that he's yes, he is sort of his own thing.
Yeah.
When he's on a talk show and
He's his own genre, like Cage.
Yes, and people, by the way, you know what they love about that? It's like, I had a teacher in college who hated his voice. And she was our speech teacher, and I went to a conservatory for university where they were like, you need to be this, this, and this. And I go, I don't know, man. I think he's doing something right. Because I think that people embrace, and obviously that's what social media has become. Obviously there's a lot of trolls and poison. But it's like when you see somebody weird or interesting, you tend to be like, oh, that person is just being authentically themselves.
Yeah.
In a way that I think that people really appreciate the older you get. Because you get there when you're old, by the way. Al Pacino couldn't give a fuck about
The tongue.
anything, you know? I wish I had some taffy right now. I am Scooby-Doo licking a ice cream cone all the time. But he always was, just like De Niro. He always was, that sort of guy.
Fuck you too.
Fuck you. I'm here as a devil, right here. Hoo-ah. And even when he was younger, Fredo, he was sort of a weird guy. He was, Fredo, I knew it was you. He was sort of always a weird guy. Because they always said he was not a traditional leading man.
Yeah.
And this thing is, he embraced what was weird about him. And I think everybody gets there when they're older. You know who else says that? My favorite, Jack. Always sort of good. He's always, everything's good. Nothing's bad. I love him.
Yes.
My favorite performance, hot take.
Everything is good.
He goes,
I didn't know you close your nose.
Close your nose.
You close your nose
Well,
if you
things
want
are
it.
good for me. How are they for you?
How are they for you?
Yeah.
I know. Say you again.
You. He drops out.
You.
Things couldn't have been better. That's why I love my favorite performance of all time, Joker. For him.
He's fantastic.
My favorite when he
Wait
goes.
till they get a load of me.
It's my favorite line of the movie.
Yeah.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Yeah.
That he's sort of like, you think that guy's crazy?
Yeah.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Yeah, it's
the
great.
confidence.
And when he does the impression, he goes, "You've always been my number one." And the guy doesn't even know what he's doing.
Jack Palance, yeah.
Yeah, but he's
No, I know.
doing Jack Palance, but his henchman doesn't even know what he's doing.
Right.
He's just doing it for his own amusement. Bob.
He goes, Bob. He goes,
Yeah.
Hey, he's just like, you're my number one, Jack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so. And again, the confidence of just like, people are going to do impressions of you. You know why? Because you're worth impersonating. That people are like, by the way, it didn't hurt his career. He was like that. I watched a trailer for a movie that he did in the 50s. It's in black and white. A very handsome man. That slick, beautiful hair back.
Yeah.
And he's sort of a rebel. And then you watch him in Chinatown. It's like the rest of the movie isn't even there, in my opinion. He's that good.
Yeah.
And I just think, but people respond to that. They respond to people who are just like, hey, Jonathan Kite, I have a nasal voice. I have big features. I'm emphatically speaking. This is who I am.
Yeah.
What can it work for acting? And Jeff Goldblum's always been like that.
Yeah.
I enjoy that about those people.
We were in the car, me and Matt McCarthy, going to the club this weekend.
Yeah.
And we were doing Jack Nicholson the whole way. You know when you're working a weekend and you just start losing your mind a little bit. And it's an Uber, and we're driving, and we're just the whole way going. And then this guy starts crossing from a corner to a corner with a little dog. And this guy's got a little dog. He's crossing diagonal. And the Uber driver, who, of course, he was listening to us. Why wouldn't he?
Dude.
Died laughing. That was the best laugh I got that night. Was just two lunatics doing Jack the whole drive.
It's fun.
He crossed diagonal.
Look at this guy out there. He crossed diagonally. Of course he does. He's got a tiny dog.
We were narrating the town as Jack, and
So
it was
I did it
one
as
of the
Obama.
funniest things.
I did it Obama because we'll be in a car. So my friends and I come up with like the dumbest version we can do, like, Harrison Ford, try not to sneeze. Oh, hold on.
That's good.
But something like stupid, we'll just go out and go,
Wait, hold on.
Chewy, give me a Kleenex. It's going to be a big one.
Provasic.
What'd you say?
Provasic is from The Fugitive.
Oh.
So they can give you Provasic.
He should have been Captain Hook. He has that one finger. You find my wife.
Yeah, you find that man. When I came home, there was a man.
When I came home, there was a man. He's like beside himself.
Yes.
But but I think with that type of stuff, when people really feel like the fun of it, that's what I think why Dana Carvey is so successful.
Yeah.
He's just having the most fun.
Yeah.
Of just doing his stuff.
Yeah.
And you in the backseat of that car.
Yeah.
Just like
Doing
there's
it
a
for
thing.
pure. Crossing the street diagonal.
Yeah.
Good for you. And it was also
Good for you.
for the driver. Like that, he was watching this guy, and that's annoying. He deals with stuff that whole day. And Jack Nicholson just got to say it.
Well, you're like, you're right. That's what's happening.
That's what's happening.
Jack Nicholson sort of narrating.
Sucking on their peckers.
Sucking on their peckers.
The Departed.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you heard that story where they kept making the scene longer and longer?
With the
I'll
priests?
butcher it. No, with killing the, oh man, I'm going to butcher this.
Oh, I know that story. Killing the woman, where he's like, I got another button for
Yep.
it. She fell funny. Keep rolling.
Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was a writer.
But, that's the reason I sort of don't like him in The Shining, because he needed to sort of start off as Tom Hanks and be like, well, we're just gonna, we're gonna go out there. The family is going to have a blast. We're gonna run around.
So right.
And then he needed
would have
to-
had a bigger way to go. He's kind of.
He's like, we're just trying to go with that opening scene with the beautiful tie and the green, and he's just like, well, I'm excited to go out there, and you're like, I'm like, are you already there? Like, because at the end he's perfect.
That is so funny. You have to do that on stage. I feel like that would work.
I mean,
It's like he doesn't have enough of a journey to go.
Stephen King hated him in it.
Really?
Hated him in it. Yeah, famously. No. Yeah. Yeah. But you got to
know
imagine.
that.
But to get up there, I mean, who else would be him at the end of the movie? It's got to be him.
gotta be him at
dragging
the
the
end.
axe.
Yeah, yeah.
And the hair sort of. But at the beginning,
Yeah, no, he's scary the whole time.
yeah, well, he had-
you want to go down and get an ice cream?
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
want-
what the fuck?
he's like, well, excited to get. I'm like, don't just be. And the thing is, not that he couldn't be normal, because his normal is so delicious.
Yeah.
But it's like it needed to be. Like just this, like, well, we're gonna go. I'm gonna bring a typewriter, and nothing weird's gonna happen.
That's so funny.
But you need someone. But here's the thing: the beginning, less is impressive. You need a guy that can go to hell.
Yeah.
And so that
Could
was.
Hanks have gone that dark to hell?
I mean,
Hard to say.
QAnon would say yes. But
QAnon?
yeah, because they always said that he's with
Oh.
the Epstein stuff, But you're like, what? So I always think like him going, oh, here's Johnny. I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's
Well, you have your closer to the bit.
Well, there you
But
go.
I don't know if Hanks could have done the second part.
Oh, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this guy seems delightful. Oh, did you see the twins? There's blood everywhere. That's why his take is more like exasperated. He can't believe he's like, there's a dead woman in the shower. That's what he had. What? I mean, what hotel is this? Oh, Yelp, 1 star.
Oh my God.
But you need that's why those turns are so. You know who could have done it? Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes.
I mean, to me,
Yes.
people, because he was like the ultimate.
Here's Johnny.
Yeah, he's just like,
Here's Johnny.
well, we're gonna go out there, and then he goes, here's Johnny.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can see him in the interview scene being like,
yeah. Well,
he can look like a milkman.
well, he has the best. He has rich and poor face. That's
He's rich and poor.
That's why he was the GOAT. Because when you look at him in Freddie Miles, so do you like Talented Mr. Ripley, the movie?
I love it.
So
How's the peeping, Tom?
How's the peeping, Tommy?
He was only rich for a while. Sent of a woman. Stad.
Stad.
We're going to Stad.
Well, then he was in but then
Fuck you too. Fuck. Hey, I can't see you, but fuck you too.
I'll bring a flamethrower.
I'll bring a flamethrower.
dude, why don't
How's your skin, son?
dude? He is. He's like. By the way, his Al Pacino's expression on that face is that he just went blind. That he hasn't always been blind. He's like,
Where did my sight go?
That is true.
I could just see.
He's new blind.
Pete, where you coming from? I thought you were sitting there.
Where you at?
Where you at? Hey,
Where
Pete,
you at?
Boost Mobile. Where you at?
but that
But in Ripley.
But he's
so good in
Let me
that.
get this straight, Tommy. You're going to live at Dickie's house, and his dad's going to foot the bill. I want that job. He's such
So
a dick.
good, yeah.
But then when you see him you see him as poor, like in Scotty in Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
he's just like I'm a you know,
Yeah.
or in Happiness. I love him in Happiness.
me too.
Or in what's the other one? Mahoney, Owning Mahoney, when he's the gambling addict.
I die. I can't handle that movie.
It's so
when he's
hard
up
to watch.
and you're like,
oh, please walk away.
Yeah.
Please have credits.
Yeah.
No, there's an hour left. Okay.
yeah,
But
horrible.
he is rich and poor.
Yeah.
So you see, and he plays very professorial. Yes, Jeff Goldblum could not. We're going to the hotel.
Professorial. Phil Hoffman.
Professorial.
Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that he's
Yeah.
very just sort of like, we're going to go out there, you know, have some fun.
Yeah.
I love it when Matt Damon does the impression of him and he goes, if I'm late, imagine what her husband is saying. And it's like, so there's something like dickish about him where there is a little cockiness, like we're going to go out there and just have a blast. Nothing wrong is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then everything wrong happens.
Yeah. Mr. Ripley's one of those. I just rewatched it with Val.
It's,
And she hadn't seen it, I don't think. And she was like, I got to be the old, I was going to say boyfriend, but husband, the old husband that was like, this is good. That was where I learned how to do my face impression of Matt Damon.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He has this really creepy, like,
Yeah. Marge. Yeah, he has that. Marge. He's like, yeah, didn't Dickie tell you? Yeah, there's something so.
but he slowly reveals his top row of teeth with his,
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
on one side.
yeah, it's creepy.
It's like America's sweetheart, Matt Damon.
But
But that whole movie, everybody in it, Philip Seymour Hoffman won an Academy Award, Kate Blanchett won a couple. Obviously, Gwyneth Paltrow won one. Jude Law was
For that
nominated.
movie?
No. But Jude Law was nominated for the
we,
movie.
after the movie was done, we looked up to see if it got any awards. It got nothing.
No, Jude Law was nominated for Dickie Greenleaf.
That was all we saw, but fucking nothing for Damon. Nothing. Damon was smoking it.
so. By the way, and he was so believable as that guy.
I'm going to say it. Robbed. Oscar's so robbed.
Oscar so robbed.
Broccoli robbed. I have to go.
Me too. But before you finish, I have to go. That guy.
That's what I love.
The Hollywood guy.
No.
Before you get out your thing, I have to leave, so I don't know what you're about to say, but I can't be here anymore. This has taken up enough of my time. That Hollywood guy.
I hate it that I have to go because I could talk to you for 9 more years. So
Forever.
this was stupid of me to schedule a normal slot, but I have to be somewhere at 1:30.
I have to be somewhere at 11. What time is it?
If I'm late, imagine what her husband's saying.
That's when he's dragging this dead man that he's just beaten over the head
And
with,
he's
with the
doing the
bust, and he's
impression.
doing him for a dead man.
Yeah, I know.
It's so good. Or he goes, when he does the impression of his father.
Yeah.
And he goes, how would you,
Like to.
yeah, my son, Dickie Greenleaf, jazz is all noise.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Dickie goes, stop. It's like
Yeah.
he's the old man is here.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
young man is
yeah.
standing up.
I would have cast somebody with a more distinguishable way of speaking because when he does a perfect impression, but the audience doesn't know
They
it's
don't
perfect.
know. I 100% agree with you. And I said, if you're going to have a guy do impressions, Jonathan Pete are available. You like Matt does them well enough, but I would have
But
everyone in his life be a character.
I would agree because when he does, I remember as a kid seeing that movie in the theaters,
Yeah.
going like, "Was that a good impression?"
Yeah.
But it's not the impression; it was. It's just the character isn't.
Isn't that
Identifiable.
How could you conceive Tom?
Yeah.
He does that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's good.
He's also in the movie
That's
the
good.
Game.
Yeah.
where he's the guy who
Yeah.
goes, I'm serious. Don't worry about it, Tom. I'll
See,
take care of everything.
It's good, but it needs to be like walking.
No, it needs
crazy.
to be like, listen, have you thought about my son, Dickie Greenleaf? and then he's
yes,
like,
because
and
I
then-
felt bad for Jude Law being like, it's like the old man's here,
Dude,
and I'm like,
then, could you imagine if Matt Damon just, regular Matt Damon being like, could you imagine Dickie? And then he's like, well, that's my dad. I was like, could you imagine going to get my son, Dickie Greenleaf? And he was like, wow, my father's here. Like it was,
that's the way you fix it.
yeah,
we can do it.
You just have, or Jack. He just does the eyebrow.
This guy's crossing diagonal.
Oh, stop. It's like he's here. Oh my God.
Thank you for
I
doing
love
this,
you.
my man. I love
Thank
you so much.
much for having me. Dude.
This was a day off for me. It was a joy the whole time. You're
yeah.
a true talent.
I've wanted to do the podcast forever.
Well, you make me laugh so hard. You're welcome anytime.
I love when the shows. I mean, I love doing shows. I love, it's funny. I'd love to get on stage with you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I
Well,
think
we
the
did that a
audience-
little bit at Largo.
We did.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
think the
fun.
audience, that was the best part of my set.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not agreeing with that, but I'm just saying I enjoyed it.
I was like, they were like, we're not ready for the trans stuff about your brother. I'm like, you will be. Your kids are going to love it. Pull Back to the Future on them.
Nice.
Trans. Yeah, but it was so fun. Thank you again for having me.
Of course. Well, we'll do it again.
Love it.
Thanks. Would you say keep it crispy? You can say it as Nick Cage.
Hi. Keep it crispy.
Oh my God, it's so good. Adam Driver.
Hi. Yes. This camera. Hello. Keep it crispy.
And one is you. Just you.
Keep it crispy. I've adopted. This is how I actually talk, but like everyone else, I've adopted a character in Hollywood.
Put the watch
Put the watch
up his ass.
up his ass like it's
Died of dysentery.
like it's a vibrator.
Give me the
What? Deleted scene.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
That was awesome. Oh, I didn't read a thing.
Yeah, still going.
All right. Sorry. Before we leave, please rate. What's that?
I don't know if we're getting done yet.
I think there is. Maybe cut this before the end. We'll figure it out. Please, we're trying to grow the show. We've been out for 11 years, but we're trying to get new listeners. So one of the ways we can climb the charts or whatever, we don't care about the charts. We just want people to listen to it. So please rate and review it on iTunes. This one is from, did I already read this? Yeah, I don't think we read this one. It's from Madog McGee. They say, favorite podcast. Whenever you want to read it as Jeff Bridges, you can read that one as Jeff Bridges.
All right, man. Let me put on my cheaters. Favorite podcast, man. Whenever I put on this podcast, it always has a way of breaking through any emotional blockages, man. All right. I feel, and get me into a silly, hard on my sleeve mood, man. I love this podcast so much. All right, man.
Thank you, Madog McGee. Leave a nice review, and maybe we will read it on the show, and maybe Jonathan will read it as Jeff Bridges. Thank you. We appreciate it. This show just means so much to me. So share it with a friend. Text this episode to a friend. Help us get out there. It's hard to compete with every celebrity.
With every person.
With it, not even celebrity, every person in the world. So we appreciate your support.
And I'm starting a podcast as Walking.
There it is. Walking This Way. Will be available only.
Walking This Way, and it's available on the go.
Thank you, guys.
You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Oh yeah. You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Oh yeah. You made it weird. You made it weird. You made it weird. Oh yeah.